Yeah, man. Yeah, I
You
like that though. That's dope. Shout out to
you gonna
man.
keep it this way or the other way?
Which way?
In the big squares like this.
Yeah, what's wrong with that? Everything look good?
Oh,
Uh, I mean, I could always shift it, let me see. The squares, the circle, that shit don't matter to me. That shit don't matter.
no, it's all good.
Yes, yes. Hey, Go P, what's up? Kumasi, shout out to you. Carmen, what's up, girl? Smarty Pants, I see y'all, man. What's happening? What's happening? Man, what's good? What's good? Indigenous Enigma, I see you.
He's in your chat or is he in my chat?
I think he's in your chat.
He's in. Oh, you can see my chat too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, it all comes together. Let me see.
Let me go to your chat.
Yeah, man.
You are like,
So, you know,
hit that
shout out to
like.
everybody in the building, man. Hit the like button on either side. What up, Sigma? What's going on, man? Yeah, y'all hit the like button. Uh yeah, man. So, y'all see the title. It's been a while since I talked to my guy Sigma Jones, aka Black Pill Jesus, man. How's everything going, bro? How's
Oh,
everything?
pretty good, man. I know we were supposed to do this live last week, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but it's all good. Give you a chance to marinate on certain things. I mean, the way the title is the title, but of course the build is always going to go where it needs to go.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And it was interesting how we came upon it because it's like talking about relationships and stuff and how everybody talks about people always got to compromise in relationships. And I think I always thought that compromise was like the wrong word to use because that means somebody got to be unhappy at the end of the day. Somebody ain't gonna get what they want. And it was you that laid out, like I laid out how it is for me, where if me and my lady want something and that's completely different, I'll do this for you, but later on you got to do this for me. And you said, man, that's not compromise. That's trade-offs. Like, cause you guys are both getting what you want and nobody has to walk away unhappy. And I kind of liked how you broke down the difference between the two. And, bro, go, you get like expound on that, man. Cause that was very interesting what you said.
Okay. I look at compromise most of the time as somebody got to take a L, right?
Yeah.
Um, what you do with your wife, like if you don't want to do something, but you'll do it, and then you'll tell her she's got to do this. I think that's a trade-off. A compromise is when you don't, if one person gets something and the other person doesn't, right? That's a
Mm-hmm.
compromise. That's like taking a knee. It's kind of like how I told you how, being that I'm union, that we'll get permission and we have to do this program called salting, right, to work non-union. So we
Mm-hmm.
go into a contractor, a non-union contractor, and we basically get a job. But on that job site, we're supposed to talk to the guys working and ask them if they're interested. Have they ever been interested or heard of the union? The electricians union.
Uh-huh.
So it's basically an infiltration type shit. You know what I mean? Now, on the trade-off versus a compromise, when you get a job interview and they ask you, how would you want to be compensated? Money wise, hourly, whatever you are, our stuff is more hourly or whatnot. So at that time, back in 2017, 2018, I know non-union electricians weren't making what we make. So I figured $32 an hour would be a point of, okay, I'll accept the job. Anything under that, I was willing to walk away. So I started
Mm-hmm.
high, you know. Um, Non-union has what's called lead guys. So you have a general foreman, a foreman, and then they have lead guys where we have just a foreman, a general foreman, and then journeyman. So when I started off at $35 an hour, um, he said, well, I can't do that much because my lead guys don't even make that much. So I threw the ball in his court by saying, well, meet me in the middle. So he came off with 31 at first. And I said, nah, man, because I know how everything comes out the paycheck and I got to pay for cleaning, for the uniforms and all that stuff. He said, well, I'll give you 32. That was my trade-off because I already knew that under 32 I would walk, and 32 I'd be willing to take the job. So for me, that was a trade-off. Like if I went 31 and took it, then I would have took that L because I know I didn't want to make 31. I think that's the difference. A lot of times that cats would be like, yeah, I'll take it because they need the job, but really, you can't really work with that money. You know what I'm saying? So that's to me, that's a compromise. You didn't trade off anything. I mean, yeah, you got a job, but that ain't what you wanted to make. So that money, whether it's a dollar or a penny, you got to fight for that. And that's where the
Right.
compromise and the trade-off comes from in my eyes.
Yeah, yeah. And it's a display of weakness. Because I think if you compromise for things like that, you're pretty much compromise over anything.
Yeah.
Um, you know what I'm saying? It's not and I don't think people look down the road to understand what they mean. They don't understand the implications of compromising when they do that long term. And it's just like if I know you bent the knee before, I know you're gonna bend the knee again.
Oh yeah. I
You know what I
got you.
mean? As a matter of fact, when you try to push back the second time, it's actually a lot harder to push back against bending the knee after you've already done it. Like nigga, you already in the hole. Like it's already done, man.
Yeah, for the
So
most part.
and that's why a lot of folks like they'll tend to overcorrect, right? By being excessive when they finally stop deciding to take the knee, which ends up like not working in their favor. They might fucking crash out, man. They
Yeah, I
might
mean,
crash out.
I mean, if you take the person at their weakest point in time, I think that's when they actually compromise because they have nothing to back up their fight. You know what I'm saying? Whether that's relationship, friendship, job, family, things like that. There's always going to be a compromise and a trade off in life, man. But you gotta have that power behind you to be able to say, "Hey, man, I'm willing to walk away from this because I'm not getting what I
Hmm.
want." You know,
Yep.
like I could take a job shoveling shit, bro. But if you pay me some good ass money, I'll take that job.
Hey, bro, and you know what? Because of the time that we live in, where everybody's just soft and shit, it makes it easier for people who don't take the knee to actually succeed. Period.
Right.
Just period. Once you set the tone, because a lot of people just won't. They'll take whatever they can get, as opposed to making a way for themselves.
Right.
And like I know a lot of people complain about the modern time, but if you doing things right, I actually think it's easier because a lot of people just have excuses to not do it. So if you're willing to do it, you're well above, like, the competition ain't as stiff as people think it is, because you got a lot of folks that are just not willing to compete, and they have rationalized to themselves why they don't have to compete. So it's like winners are winning easier nowadays, I believe. You know,
Yeah,
so
but
everybody
you know
everybody's
what?
soft, man.
Winners are winning, but losers are winning. I think I
Hmm.
think I think losers are winning in ways where um we're not willing to compromise in that way of let's say like scammers. Scammers are winning. Thieves are winning. You know, a win is a win until you get caught, right?
Okay.
I don't do that. Well, in 20 years, you're gonna lose. And no, no, no. You won right now, right? That's a win.
Uh-huh.
So I think that those types of people are winning as well. And then people look at them, and be like, yo, I want to do this because it's easy money. Easy money is a win, man. as long as you don't get caught, or up until the time you get caught. Then, you're gonna have to go in front of that judge, man, and then see them bars, see that jump
Uh,
sentence for a little while.
yeah. Shit. By the time that usually happens, bro, the money done came and went.
Yeah.
The money. So you kind of still winning a little bit, you know. So
Hey, what's
hey,
up?
what's up, y'all? Hey, speaking of
Hey,
we got the talk of the town in the space, bro. We got a loser winning right now. We got
which one is your loser?
the
See,
the one that,
your loser.
huh?
Which one is your loser?
I think they both losing, bro. Bro, like it's just a matter of who's losing less. Uh, between Anton and Corey, I think they both lost, bro. I'm just gonna be. I mean, they both won in the sense of content, but you know, if that's what you want to base it off of, they just look crazy, man. They just look crazy.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean, but that goes back to what I said. Even the losers are winning, right?
yeah.
Because though, I mean, I'm not saying Corey Holcomb is a loser. I don't know. I know him as a comedian. I've never actually watched that show except for clips here and there, and people reacting to the stuff, and
Mhm.
that gave people a bone, right? That threw them a bone to make content for a minute off of it, and then go about, then they separate it into political stuff, you know, black against this, the black community. I'm like, that has nothing to do with black community stuff, man. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
But of course, you had Anton there, you know, his blushing ass, he tried to step up. Now, this is one thing I will say. I don't know what Corey has on him, not on him, but on him himself, right? Because you actually got up, moved the chair, got the dude face, and then dude say, well, let's step outside. But
Hmm.
he has bodyguards and shit, right? You probably sue him and do that type of stuff. Now, if you're gonna stand up and beat your chest like that, then you take that L. You know what I'm saying?
Uh,
So I don't even see it. I don't know what the trade-off was in that one, but
I
I
think
think
the I
off of that one was that people got content out of that.
right, right, and I think that's the ultimate thing. But I think the best thing that Corey could have did, and of course hindsight is 2020. I think the best thing that Corey could have done is just ended the pod, like just end the whole thing, just hey, bro, you got to go. Like we're not gonna do this, bro. You got to go. Of course we wouldn't have got the moment, but the whole idea of acting like you could or wanted to or tried to fight, I just think that kind of put him in a weird position.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because once you do that, and a lot of I hear a lot of people putting a lot of intensity on the whole, he told him to say it again, and Anton didn't say it again. But it's like, yo, after you switch seats back, he went right back to disrespect. So like it's like, I don't know. I just think the best thing. I don't even think they had to fight. It was just like, yo, you kind of like you've been throwing shots, you talking crazy. Just get out. Let's just end it here, bro. Let's just get out. But
Yeah, I would say I would say the trade off in that I'll do it like this. Like the trade off in that was we didn't see a fight, which is cool because like you said, they didn't have to fight, right?
hmm
They're men, and that's gonna happen between men, right?
right.
Whether you buck up or not, you know what I'm saying? But I think they would have both lost in the fight, because somebody gonna get their ass kicked, But
Yeah.
I know the
Yeah.
guy
Yeah.
he's gonna sue. He gonna sue. He already
Yeah.
got
He gonna
paid by
sue.
his nephew. He gonna sue, dog.
Yeah.
But what would Corey have to lose after that too?
Right.
That
Right.
would have been a big thing too.
That's what I'm saying. But the optics would dictate that unanimously, like that Corey. They both actually compromised at different times. I didn't really see a lot of trade offs in that exchange. other than the trade-off of just ultimate content. You know what I mean? Like that was the trade-off. Like to me, the best thing that they could have did from a content perspective was almost fight. Because once you fight, somebody loses.
Right.
But as long as you almost fight, everybody wins. Everybody wins. Now, here's where Anton is goofy because he looked at it as a compromise, right? A major compromise.
Okay.
And he's not fully wrong, but the problem is that after that, he's going around different streams just talking all kinds of shit, all
Right.
kinds of wild shit, to the point where he's even dissing the whole West Coast
Oh, he
over
did.
this shit. Like he going crazy, bro. And to me, that's the ultimate loss. That's the ultimate loss. Like you kind of you moving goofy, bro. Like I don't understand why you doing this.
I mean, what like? Well, first of all, like I don't even know how they linked up. Like, what was the premise of them linking up? And then what's the whole West Coast have to do with it? He's not from the West Coast. He just lives there.
He's making it seem like he could come to the West Coast. I can violate one of y'all people, and I could be comfortable. Like he's taking it an ex to the extra step because he's gloating. He's basically gloating because he feels like he came through. He punked Corey. Corey compromised. I took advantage of one of your peoples. Like he's making it a whole region slash street nigga thing, which is turning into this bigger conversation between internet niggas and street niggas, which is to me is funny because they're both internet niggas. Like I don't know what's going on, bro. They what up, Soul? I don't know why Anton is doing that, but he's gloating basically.
I don't think he's gonna get it off though, man. If them people in the West would really come after him like that, you would be done.
Yeah.
Be
And
done.
from what I'm understanding, I saw a clip of it earlier. He's supposed to go back to the West to do what's No Jumper. So
Again, a lot of bodyguards.
of course, probably more than the last time.
Right. If he from Detroit and talking all that yang, then he would go solo. Then see what's up. And she
Man,
said,
he ain't from the.
right.
Come on, man. He ain't from the. Might be from the metro, man, but he ain't from the.
I've been downtown.
Yeah, like he ain't that. Every time he go downtown and do content and stuff, and nobody's walking up to Anton, bro. He's just like a blip in the city. Like don't nobody. You know what I'm saying? But and see, Silk, that's the funny part. Where Sick, that's the funny part, because yeah, Corey's from Chicago, Daniel's from Detroit, but Anton is making it seem like he's not even touching Chicago. He's dissing the whole West Coast. Like I don't I don't.
Yo, that's crazy though. That's actually crazy when people start dissing like a whole coast, or the whole area, from where one person is from, because I know the boys in Chicago don't play, and I mean, look at all the stuff that happened to these so-called, big wigs or big names down on the West Coast, man. Where they at now?
They're in jail, but I think for the most part, right? They out of here. So hey, Naker, bruh.
What's up, Naker?
What up, Naker? Yo, that shit don't mean nothing nowadays, bro. Like there was a time where you could get that shit off, bro. Like I'm from the murder mitten and all that shit, right?
Yeah.
But that shit, that shit don't mean nothing nowadays, bro.
Everybody carrying a gat, some type of weapon. It don't matter where you from; it's where you at right now.
I'm telling you, man.
I mean, look, man. All these rich YouTube cats talking about they from the streets. Everybody from the streets now. Everybody. When he gonna start wearing a what do they call it? The shiesty, the poo shiesty mask.
Hey, SHAKA-NEU-LU.
You know what I'm saying? Black pill shiesty.
You know what I mean?
Look, I was wearing them masks back in the day. I was wearing the mask back in the days when I used to put out fires, be in the Navy, do fire alarm, be out in the solar heat. I've been wearing a mask. That don't mean nothing.
Yeah, hey Gabe, you know what's up? I'm telling you, bro. They used to say that shit. You used to be able to get that shit off. Niggas would move out the way. Like I remember that shit, man. But them shits is that day is done.
I mean,
That
shit.
shit is
I'm
done.
from LA, born and raised. Like, but what does
Hmm.
that mean at the end of the day?
It don't mean nothing. It don't mean nothing. You gonna bro. You try to pull that shit off nowadays. You gonna get compromised quick. So,
Compromise,
but
casting
it's just
compromising.
I'm just like, bruh. And then it's just it is funny, man, because like the way that this whole debate has expanded to the point of internet niggas versus street niggas. I find that it's just it's fascinating, bro. It is fascinating.
Well, you know what
Like,
happened. You know what happened. All right, so there was a cycle. Tampa, man, where you been at, man? There was a
what up, Tampa?
cycle. I don't remember. You said you came in at what, like 19, 20 in this place on YouTube or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there was a time where it was a street nigga versus nerds, or street niggas versus talking about internet niggas, and it's like, well, hold on, you go live all the time, you put up recorders, you're on all type of panels, you're an internet nigga. Okay, cool. If you from the streets, that's cool, but
Mm-hmm.
you an internet nigga. I'm an internet nigga. Everybody's an internet nigga. You get an internet, you get an internet, you get an internet.
Uh-oh. I'm gonna disagree with you, bro. Because
Go
that's
ahead.
not maybe it's because that's not how I define an internet nigga. Like, just because you to me, just because you on the internet doesn't mean that you an internet nigga. What I define as an internet nigga is somebody who talks as if all they know is the internet. Like that like like what you say sounds good on the internet, but in the real world, that shit don't fly. It only makes sense on the internet. And so, like, I hear a lot of people talk, yeah, they on the internet, they've been on the internet, but what they say has real world practical use.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really consider them an internet nigga, because what they're saying what they're saying is based on reality, not the internet. That's how I look at it personally. Like,
Okay.
yeah, everybody's on the internet, but everybody ain't saying stupid internet shit that
Right.
only makes sense on the internet.
Well, I'm talking about the people who call everybody else that in that sense.
Gotcha.
See, look, I got my homie K in the chat, right? That's my
Uh-huh.
uni brother. That's my school buddy. We went to school together.
Right.
Co-professor. Me and him link, you know, in faith, person to person, eye to eye. Everything I say on the phone, everything I say online has to do with real world stuff, right?
Hmm.
But I'm on the internet. So that's why I'm just saying, yo, I'm an internet nigga too. I wouldn't call nobody, you just an internet nigga. I wouldn't even say that because it
Right.
don't make sense. But what I talk about makes sense, whether you like it or not. Black Pill Jesus.
There you go. Thus saith the Lord.
Hey, close the doors, man. Hit the likes. I didn't give y'all too many chances, baby. I got that clip too, man. I wanted to put it in my thing, but I didn't have time.
Marvin Nulu, man.
You know, close the
This ain't
doors.
Drew.
Man.
This ain't Drewski Church, man. We
Hey,
keep it real over here.
I believe I can fly.
Yo, that nigga Drewski was hanging from the hanging on wires and shit like he's in the WWE, bro. And
I
then come to
seen,
find out, have you seen that?
I seen a little bit of it, and I seen some comments about it, and the comments are so stupid because y'all literally look at pastors do this. I mean, hey man, the 700 Club, you know, all these cats selling holy water. I mean, yo, I could piss in a cup and call it holy water and sell it to you.
Yeah, bro. Like, yeah, it's nasty work, man.
I mean, I
It's
literally watched the dude get questioned. I want to say I forgot who it was, and the guy's name is black dude, where he got questioned by like the FBI or something. He had a whole inquisition, bro. And this cat was buying Gucci suits. He bought two limos and had them put together,
hmm
jets and all that type of stuff. And these guys watch these guys and then talk all that yang about Drewski doing what he did. I thought it was funny.
I thought it was funny too. Um, I think that he was could because people are trying to make it seem like he was making fun of God or making fun of. He wasn't even making fun of. He's making fun of those particular like mega pastor
Right,
influencers, and so people taking it to a place that it don't need to go to. I thought the shit was funny,
right.
you know. So I don't, everybody goes. You're free to be offended. Free to be offended, man.
Yeah. I mean, you're gonna offend people, man, and that's cool because a lot of people they don't want the truth, man. They want the truth. Like, you know how people say, well, you could have said it this way, but I didn't. I said it this way.
Right.
You want me to say it how you like it fed to you. And I'm not here to spoon feed you and whatnot.
Yeah, a lot of they don't want the pure uncut, man. They want you to chop that shit up. They want you to step on it before you give it to them.
Right. They want the black magic, not the blue magic.
Thus saith the Lord, man. I'm telling you. So that's why it just don't like I get the other. That's why I get the other side. Like, I think that's some internet nigga shit, but I get it. Like the folks that think that as long as they're offending people, then they're telling the truth. Because if I wasn't telling the truth, why would all these people be mad and upset and offended? And it's like, nah, I get what you're saying, but nah, the truth isn't always offensive. The truth just be the truth, you know. Um, but you can be offensive and be
Yeah.
completely wrong, you know.
Right.
And I don't think people are just. I don't think people have the discernment to know the difference. People think they're doing right because they like. Imagine thinking you doing right because YouTube is blocking your channel or shadow banning you or people
Right.
ain't like your numbers is doing like it's like maybe you just off, man. Like maybe you just maybe you just maybe you just not saying shit, but you know maybe you just not saying shit, man. But people be thinking they doing stuff online. It's like nigga, no, you just talking. I don't understand why people maybe they just want to feel like they're important. Uh, and it's like it's okay, bro. We on the internet. We just talking. And niggas get mad at that shit, bro. You just
Yeah.
talking. It's like I don't know, man. What you think about that, man? Why people get mad when you say you just talking?
Because they know they full of shit and somebody didn't call them out. Or, I mean, like you have to like look at it as if you see this person around chats and they talking the way they talk, right? And
hmm
then, say you got a guy who's just calling you out for your garbage, man. Like, yo, I don't even believe that. You don't even sound right, you know. Um, there are people who just talk on the internet, on YouTube or whatnot, but
hmm
they don't apply that in a real life. You know what I'm saying? So if
hmm
it if it walks, talks, and acts like a duck most times it is. So, them person, those people, they'll be free to like kick you out of a chat real quick, you know, because you actually interrupting their show. And that's
Right.
just what it is. It's a show, you know. You're not gonna always get a person in the movie theater who likes the movie. They might walk out, they might talk, they might say something. And that's something that you gotta deal with. I mean, you can kick them out, sure, but they got 90 damn Gmail accounts. to come back in and just troll you. Like I don't care about troll. I like people say, you know, what you said ain't right. What you okay, cool. Well, let's well prove me wrong.
There you go.
Prove me wrong.
There you go, man. Yeah, Gabe, they changing policy, bro. They changing policy. They changing policy. Yeah, man. It's like I the internet is funny, man, because people really think that they're moving a needle, and I don't think they are like that. I don't think they are. I think that they're just they. I could say that they're spreading influence, but I think that the people who are in power just use that for their own benefit. But that doesn't mean you're moving the needle. I don't think so.
Um, I mean, when you
And
say
the reason why
when you say moving the needle and the influence, that's kind of the same thing to me.
it's not to me, because most of these conversations that are quote unquote serious have to do with power, and influence and power aren't necessarily the same thing, especially in the context of who they speak of when it comes to these conversations.
Okay.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, look at the they'll make it seem like the real conversations are, speaking truth to power, or why aren't you talking about those people who are in power? And it's like, yeah, you may you may gain some influence on the internet, but those people in power, they're not being moved by that shit. They just using it.
I mean,
FWA was a thing, and now we moving on to FWA. The influence is there, but like, like,
hey man, look, all you gotta
like
do is put something out.
you,
Like I create a narrative, right, and then never argue the narrative. I could create a narrative and then just do records, right? I ain't got to go live. I ain't got to show nothing. All I got to do is
right,
talk about it, and I've influenced people to talk about it. Now, whether that's moving a needle, whether it's power or not, but the power in moving the needle is actually is in moving the needle. It gets people talking and start wondering, right? Now,
uh-huh,
the problem with that is that you have a lot of people who live through the eyes of so-called content creators, right?
uh-huh,
They start asking questions and they start doing this and doing it. What you think about this? Well, he said this and he said that. Well, what do you say?
right.
You don't even
They start
have
turning into drones and shit.
yeah, don't be that guy. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Hmm.
I don't care what the next content creator said. What just because you got a channel, man, don't make you like smarter than somebody else. And I think that's where a lot of people, when they start looking at all these content creators or whatever, man, they just listen to what this guy said instead of picking up a book. Read one book. Go see how you feel about this. Read a book that says yes to this. Read a book that says no to this. And then it's up to
Hmm.
you to draw all that stuff up. If you're not going to draw it up yourself, then it means nothing to me. Because the power of information is what you do with it, not just what you read.
Right, and the other aspect of it too is like, I don't think that it's one thing to know something. It's another thing entirely to know why you know that thing. And I don't think people understand the difference. Like, it's one thing to just to know talk. It's like, talking points, but you don't know why those talking points are true or not. Uh, you you just saying, and that goes back to the whole you just saying shit, but you don't know why you're saying what you're
Yeah.
saying. So even if you have something that's right, somebody who comes through with wrong information that knows more than you could easily just swat that shit away. And that's where the mindless drone shit comes in, where people just they pick up shit on the internet, but they don't know why they're saying what they're saying. It feels good to say it, but you don't know why you're saying it.
Right.
You haven't thought any deeper than, you know what you're saying. It's just And then when somebody comes through who actually has the experience and says, "Bro, I don't you don't know what the fuck you're talking about." Then it turns into it turns into this girl shit like why you hating and you just you part of the gynocracy or it's like no, you just don't know what the fuck you talk about, bro. You just don't
Right.
know.
Right.
You don't know why you're saying what you're saying, bro. That's really what it boils down to.
That goes back to like when I talk about supreme mathematics, understanding, right? Understanding is the best part. So who, what, where, why, sometimes how. Like all that stuff has a major play in it. You know,
Yeah.
it's like if you don't read the ingredients to a lot of this stuff, man, you don't know what you're drinking or what you eat. You know, it could be all poison. So it's up to you, you know, to find out the truth and what somebody's saying. If it interests you, if not, then it is what it is, right? But
Right.
you know, if you say you know something, you gotta show and prove that. But like you said, you know, yo, you just talking, man. Your lips are moving, but you ain't saying shit.
Right, right. And I truth be told, I don't think people are that interested. I think that just I think they just say things to serve an agenda. So their words are a means to an end. But I don't think they really care about what they're saying, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
They just using talking points. And I think if you're smart, you could tell the difference. Even if it's something that I completely agree with, the way that they got to that conclusion could be completely different, and that's why I would disagree with it.
right. You
You
got
see what I'm
yeah.
saying? So,
It's questioning them to see how you got there. You know how say like in math class, right? When the teacher or the instructor gave you a problem and they failed you, even though you got the answer right, but you don't know they don't know how you got there. You know, put all your work in there, and they fail you because
uh,
you didn't do the work. You got the answer right. So I don't know if you cheated. I don't know how you got that answer. You know, you could be a damn mathematician, a child prodigy type dude, but I don't know how you got there. Let me know how you got there. I think that's what you're talking about.
right, yeah, because I think how you got there is more important than you actually getting there. Um, because that translates into other areas of conversation.
Right.
You know what I mean? And to me, those are the same people that try to talk about other things that they barely know anything about, just for the sake of trying to appear like they know everything. Those are the same guys that won't fall back when it comes to a conversation that they know nothing about.
I agree with you on that.
You know what I'm saying? And I don't think there's anything like I love just sitting back and just listening to take in the information. Uh, it could make sense, it could not make sense, but I'm not gonna pretend like I know something I don't know.
Yeah,
Um,
I don't like that. And you can hear when somebody don't know and they're just trying to add to the conversation.
uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? Because there's been many times, man, where I've been on panels and it'll go into like some political stuff or like some crypto stuff. You know, I'm not politically astute because I don't really involve myself into politics, right?
Uh-huh.
Because like I always thought that, you know, yeah, I do some level of voting, you know, as far as Nevada goes, right? All that
Right.
other stuff, man. Look, it's the illusion of choosing, right?
Hmm.
If your vote actually was able to change stuff, I don't think they let you do it. So,
Yeah, that's I think that's why that electoral college is there to kind
right,
of filter out,
right,
you know.
and
So,
then like I don't know nothing about crypto. You know, I don't know nothing about that. I have to go to somebody, and then, you know, well, how did you get here? How did you do this? How did you do that? And then you have, you know, some guys would just do it. That okay, so
mhm.
don't talk to you no more, basically.
No, that's a fact, man. That's a fact. And like you said, bro, like you could just tell, man. You could just tell. Um, and people think that that shit is like connected. Because I've been on panels with somebody who agrees with me on like 99% of what I'm saying, but the reason why they believe it is completely different, and that's what we'll argue about. I actually see that shit a lot on panels. Um, I've seen people fall out over that shit, and it's funny because they completely agree with everything that they see on about the world. It's like they almost finish each other's sentences, but when they get into why they agree with each other, that's when they fucking fall out on some nigga shit, on some Boondocks nigga moment shit.
You just talking.
Yeah, yeah, man. So a lot of these niggas compromise, man. A lot of these niggas, they compromise. Especially the folks that are binded by hate. Like we all are we're all here because we hate this particular group. And
Yeah, I've heard.
eventually, you know what I'm saying? Eventually that shit gonna break up because it's like you can only be bound by hate for so long.
Yeah, yeah, I've heard that type of stuff too. You know, I mean, you know, that's what I talk about, like pro, like when you're pro something, right?
Hmm.
I think if you're pro something, you should also be able to point out the negative aspects of what you're pro, right?
Correct.
So like me being union, right? We're more democratic, even though I'm not a Democrat or Republican, right? I'm
Uh-huh.
not pro black nor anti white, but I'm able to point out the negative aspects of being union, because there are some negative aspects, because it's still life, it's still people around me, you know, jobs, contractors, they want to make money, they want to do what they can do, and it's like, you know, you start to question things, man. You know, it's nothing
Hmm.
that's going to make me ever leave a union, but I'm still pro union. I'll tell everybody to join a union, man. You know, a good one, especially when it comes to trades. But you know, you still gotta point out the negative aspects of different trades. You know, um, where's your money going? Why are you here? That's what we always ask. But why are you even here?
Absolutely.
If you're just here to make the money, man, you're not really about the union. You're a member, but you're not a brother, and we'll get you on up out of there, right? But then you have people who are pro Democrat and don't see the negative aspects of that.
Hmm.
And it's like, I'm not here to debate with you on the political stuff, man, but how you live your life will tell the tale.
Right. Yeah. And it's important to understanding that I always like people who are able to make those distinctions. It's instead of just saying everybody should do such and such. It's like, no, why should everybody do that particular thing? Like, again, like just because I'm married, right, doesn't mean that everybody should be married. There are definitely choices and trade-offs because that's what life is about. It's about choices and trade-offs. And if you're not willing to accept the trade-offs, then you shouldn't do it. You shouldn't fucking do it. But to make it seem like everybody should just do it, like, nah, man. I again, like I argue most people shouldn't do it, especially nowadays. But
Right.
if you're just trying to say everybody should do it because it's gonna fix the community and all this shit, no, bro, no.
You know,
It'll probably tear the community up a little bit more
hey,
because people don't know why they're doing it.
back in the '90s, man, when I was into the pro black thing, you know, I used to sell the cakes and pies and the bean pies, man, the jujubes and stuff. I used to be out here with the Muslims, you know, on the
Oh
west side
shit.
of Vegas. Yeah, I used to be on the corner. I'd go help sell. You know, it was no big thing to me. You know, because what I saw back then out here with the NOI, man, like they was, you know, they was doing a thing, but they also have fuckery, you know, all the political stuff and all that, man. So I was never at NOI, but I said, you know, what could hurt me selling some incense or some bean pies? Because I love bean pies, man. Um,
I've
I
never
love-
had them, bro.
yeah,
I'll be real with you. I've never had one.
you got to get one. It's almost like, I think they're made out of navy beans and like molasses, and then they have different flavors like pineapple, apple, blueberry, which are they're really good, right? But
Hmm.
you know, but when I saw pro black like in LA and then out here, it was more pro black woman, and I couldn't get down with that because the main goal, what they would say is, yo, you gotta have babies. They wasn't talking about marriage. I don't think they were talking about like signing the documents of marriage, but
Whoa,
they're talking
what?
about babies, having babies to build
Okay,
up
that
our numbers. You see what I'm saying?
okay.
That's where I
But
was
but
going.
but that sounds like but that kind of sounds like baby mama. You gotta like baby mama, baby daddy shit. Like you just gotta have them.
Yeah, for the most part. But they weren't trying to get you to be in the system. You know what I'm saying? Going to judge and doing it like that. They still wanted people to be together, but the main goal was have babies to build up our numbers. But then build up our numbers for what? It was like build up numbers for what? What are you doing with these babies?
Mm-hmm.
If you wasn't homeschooling them, look, if you want to be out the system as much as you can go to the hospital and have a baby, right? But you don't want
Mm-hmm.
no birth certificate. You don't want no social security number. And then you got to homeschool that kid. You got to do everything. It's hard as hell, man, to be out of the system, you know. And then when that child grows up, you know, once he wants a driver's license or something like that, then you let that person decide like how they want to continue on, right? So that's what I was always. But I'm like, you guys are sending them to these schools. You guys are doing this and doing that. You're not homeschool. You're not doing anything outside of school. Normal. Just have babies, and I couldn't get down with that. So I was in the early '90s, man, like 91, 92. You know, then I
Mm-hmm.
came out to Vegas '93, and I didn't see it like I did in LA because it wasn't as big. It was like a lot of gangs and stuff out here. Back then before I went to the Navy and stuff. But even then, cats were still talking about that, man. Oh, you gotta do this or you gotta do that. But how does that benefit me? Where's the trade-off? Except having
Right.
babies. There was no there was no trade-off for me. Well, what was I getting out of that? Nothing.
Right. Right. And yeah, but and that's why I struggle with the whole collective. I struggle with the collective thing, bro. Particularly a collective that is being framed as if I have no choice in. That's like it's different if you opt into a group thing, right? But the idea that we all have to come together for something that I don't particularly believe in, or I have to respect. It'd be like in the military, right? When
Mhm.
you ever been in the military and you were stuck being instructed by somebody you did not respect.
Of course. That shit
It's
happens
the,
now.
it's the same thing. I don't want it to be a forced thing. Like I'm willing to win with a team, but it has to be a team I decide.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Like when you're in the military, like you go to boot camp, right? They you can hate each other, but it's kind of like, if you gamble, right? And you go play blackjack, it's
uh
all y'all against the dealer. But I'm here to make money, right? When you
oh
when you when
shit.
you, when you go to boot camp, they break you down to build you up, which is fine, right?
Uh-huh.
You are a collective at that time. But when you start to get out of boot camp and you go to school and you go to your duty stations and you do certain things, like you're still an individual. But then at a certain time, that's when you come together, right? So you still have to be an individual. Like I'm not gonna jump off of a bridge because hey man, we're collective. You know, you can't use the term, we're collective and we're community and then say, all skin folk ain't kinfolk. So I don't even do that type of stuff, man. It's like, look, I'm gonna judge you. I'm looking at you. People look at me. I got dreads, I wear ear gauges and shit like that. They judge me all the time. I'm gonna judge everybody. You know what I'm saying? I'm just not gonna disrespect you, but um, you know, I'm not gonna jump off of everybody's bridge, man. So like, picking a side, all that stuff. You just have to look at the positive and negative of everything before you even pick a side, man. And if you're not willing to,
Right, right.
then to me, you just jumping off a bridge.
No, that's a fact. That's a fact. Um, and it's just yeah. Um, but and that's what a lot of the community stuff entails, right? The choices and when you talk about choices and trade-offs, like I'm not willing to accept certain I'm not willing to accept being denied certain freedoms that come with being in certain communities. Because it's the whole like when I hear being on code, being off code,
Yeah.
that to me signals okay. It sounds like control to me, and sometimes I get it, but sometimes I don't because people overuse that shit in a way that they just want to control you. They want to control what you're able to do, what you can and can't do, all that shit, bro. And I'm just not with it.
Yeah,
Um,
there's a level of gaslighting there.
a level of it. Now, some of it I definitely do respect. Because yeah, like it's just like violating. They going off on Anton because they found a clip of him saying "fuck Malcolm X," and it's like, bro, like, bro, come on, man. Like, hey, they pressed him about that shit. He was like, "What was the context of it?" Like, nigga,
What do I need? See, and that's what I be saying, man. Hey, sometimes context be gay. Like, bro
yeah,
said
nuance,
what he
yeah,
said, man. I don't need. You said fuck Malcolm X. All right, cool. Well, what was the context of what I don't need it? You already gave it to me. Yeah, fuck Malcolm X.
yeah. Like, why did you say it? And they pressed him about that shit earlier, and he wiggled out of that shit, and they just fucking let him. It's just like,
Because
oh, bro.
there's something about these guys like him. They're afraid to tell them the truth, and that's how he wiggles out of that shit. Now, if I was cool with him, would I like him or hate him after that is not even a question. It's like, well, why are you saying that? You know what I'm saying? Like
Hmm.
maybe he said fuck Malcolm X because when Corey Holcomb said, well, you're still black, and he said I'm Christian first. And then to say black is a construct. I'm like, isn't Christianity a construct?
Right, right.
Construct too, stupid.
Yeah, but he keep a lot of yes men around him, man. And even the people who are against him they compromise, bro, because they see the clout that they could get from him, and so they won't say what needs to be said, or they'll say it in a they won't address it with the right tone or whatever delivery, whatever. Instead of just saying like, "Yo, not only what you said is fucked up, you don't even know why you said what you said." Like we could have a discussion about it if you understood why you said what you said, but he didn't even. Yo, the wiggle out was nasty work, bro. And he just fucking said it. It's just like he just said it. He just he just said it, man. And it's just nigga too, man. Nigga too.
Damn. How
So,
I'm interested. I kind of want to see how they let him get out of that or what he said.
oh, you want me to pull it
Yeah,
up? I could shut the music down and let me
yeah.
see.
Let me check that out.
Yeah, let me
I'm
see.
gonna have to start. I'm gonna have to start probably playing some videos, man. Sometimes I'll be wanting to sometimes, man, but that ain't my style.
I sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I used to do it a lot, but I kind of stopped. But this shit was kind of crazy. Yeah, this shit was kind of crazy.
Probably say he was gonna beat him up. If he was alive. Oh fuck Malcolm X up. I'm from the hood.
No, I kind of understand the context. I understood the context of it, and even with the understanding of the context of it, the shit was like kind of wild. But the fact that I don't know, man, the needing context behind some shit you said, like fuck Malcolm X, was just like, bro, if you gonna lean in, lean in. Why you say it, man? Why you
Right.
say
That's true.
That's the part that got me. It's like it's not the fact that he said it. It's like you're not even gonna explain why you said it. And then he's like, well, that was a long time ago, so I probably don't remember why I said it. It's like, what?
Okay. Sure.
Look at David talking about. See, they gonna pull up on you, bro. I'm telling you.
Oh,
You don't want to play that, man. You don't want to play them games, David. I'm telling you. I wish I could find that clip where he was talking spicy about the West, the whole West Coast, bro.
that ain't good.
Like, how you gonna try to internet nigga shit, man?
It is. I'm not saying that people who talk shit online ain't tough, but if you saying all that, man, you still need bodyguards, man. Something ain't right. Something ain't adding up.
I wonder how many bodyguards will be like, nah, bro, you wilding a little bit too much. I'm not gonna do that detail.
Depends how much
Like,
they probably.
Yeah, he might to get the 50 Cent Navy SEAL kind of security when he go, get a couple ICE agents to go
Cover up.
some off duty ICE agents, bro.
Covered up.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's saying a lot, man.
That shit wild, bro. Yeah, that's why certain people, keyboard warriors, bro. Keyboard warriors, man.
There you have those.
No, you definitely do. You definitely do. I look, man. I don't think that the internet is really for those kinds of niggas, bro. Because I don't think the internet is for street niggas like that. And I'm talking about street niggas that'll actually do something, because internet niggas will take it there. They want you to take it there because they don't think you're gonna take that flight or take that ride.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's like Ebo said in the chat, right? Fuentes, right? That cat talks so much shit. Somebody pulled up on him. And then what did he say? I'm a Mexican.
I'm a Latino, bro. I'm not on that.
Yo, even out here, dog. I don't have TV, so I only saw it on the news on YouTube. But I guess whoever was talking shit on their live, somebody pulled up on them on Vegas Boulevard and chopped them.
Yeah, I'm definitely here. And in this, from what Anton is saying, a lot of people are making that correlation. Like, yo, remember what happened to dude in Vegas? Anton, fuck around, bro. Because there are, hey, bro, look, man, there are people out there that don't care that he got security.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Especially out there in the West, bro.
That's what they say. You got guns, I got guns. What?
Yeah, niggas come through 10 deep. Oh, here we go. Here we go. You see the screen?
People may believe this or take it how you want to.
Here we
God
go.
told me to
Can you
do
hear
it
that?
a different way.
I can hear it, yeah.
All right.
Could be completely different, but it doesn't mean it's not going to be as effective. I don't believe that my purpose is to do it the way that everybody else is telling me to do it, because people may believe this or take it how you want to. God told me to do it a different way.
Bro, even I agree with it, because people, but this is the thing. Sometimes I'm accused of the same thing. People say, oh, Illa, you be telling people to read. You be too. So I know how it feels when you have to be objective to black people and they don't like to get their boat rocked. But it's never what you do. It's how you do it. Because like for example, when you said fuck Malcolm X, brother, it's I don't give a fuck.
What was the context of it? What was the context of it, Illa?
Bro, there is no context for that statement.
No. And the reason that I'm saying what is the context is because
you said fuck them, though. You said fuck Malcolm X. I mean, hold on. We ain't gotta do that. We ain't gotta do that. I want you to react to it right now.
I don't want to hear that my brother shit, for the culture shit. I just said what I said. Fuck the culture.
Well, in the words of Malcolm X, who told you to hate yourself? I mean, who told you to hate yourself?
Black people killed Malcolm X. Fuck Malcolm X. And black people killed Malcolm X.
Wow, really?
Fuck Malcolm X. Fuck
Fuck
all
Malcolm
of them.
X.
Fuck all of these people that came before us.
Explain, brother.
Wait a minute. First of all, how you had that clip queued up that fast?
Because I do this.
My nigga.
So you held
I
on to that.
don't know everything, but I know a little something.
Okay, that's cool. But
Hey,
Yeah, how
man,
you had a
look,
clip that fast, bro?
yeah. Hey, man, don't worry about that. I'm asking you the questions, bro. I'm asking you the questions, boss.
Yeah. You gotta have a clip in the tuck, man. And
Yeah.
I feel it, bro. I feel it because people will deny. But here's what he says. Let's go.
I have to watch the entirety of the live stream before I comment on it. I'm not gonna comment on it ignorantly. I need to see what happened before it and what happened after.
Me and you happened before.
No. Listen. I already told you that I'm gonna come on the platform.
No. We cool, and I appreciate you. So you gonna do the interview on Philosophical Radio?
Yeah, I'm gonna come on. I told you that.
Y'all heard him, right? That's respect. All right, I respect that.
I don't listen. I don't.
No, he said
Bro, you should know why you said it.
Yeah. What up, D?
That shit is insane, bro. You yeah, backpedaling, bro.
I mean, look, I said some stuff about MLK once, but it wasn't like, well, fuck him. It was certain things that I said, and I had a reason for saying it. But you know, the context I gave, I still gave it. You know why I said it. But on a panel, if somebody was like, cue it up real quick, hey man, how'd you get that so fast? That's funny. Yo, he had it up there because he was finna ask you. It went somewhere. He had that in there for a reason, for a minute.
Mm-hmm. That's a fact, bro. That's a fact. Illa came prepared. But you see how he spun out of it? Like, yo, I'll explain that later when we get back to like why you here right now. You could easily just explain it. Why do you have to research why you said certain shit that you said? Even if you just simply said, no, hey, I was fucking with niggas. At least that. But nah, bro, we ain't finna. I don't know why I said it. I would have to go back and look and see why I said it.
And so that was the end. Like they let him get away with it.
he said it earlier.
I never say something and don't do it. Like I always
That's a bet.
execute on the thing that
Shout
I
out to Anton for that. Shout out to
So
Anton.
What up,
we can have a
Complex?
whole conversation.
But if you say we can't, if you say we're not supposed to rule out love, Anton, don't you think that kind of contradict?
They just moved on from it.
Right, because it's never gonna go back. Like who's the guy taking notes to see where it's gonna come back? Like how you gonna add that back in the conversation?
Good question. That's what I was wondering.
Because it ain't gonna.
Like,
Yo.
bruh, it's
And these cats is weird, man. These cats is definitely weird. Like I can't. That's why I don't go on a lot of people's panels, man. Because I'm kicking your chairs, man. I'm gonna stay on you.
mm-hmm.
Like fly on shit. Now I keep doing it until you kick me off the panel. Or till somebody pays one of those stupid ass bounties to get me off. And I pay my way back up.
Hey, that's a fact, bro. What up, Gemini? Hey, yeah. Look, man. My problem with Illa, and it seems innocuous, but I don't like when people have an obsession with a specific topic, right? And all they do when they come through is obsess over that one topic. And Illa's topic is history. Now, you know how I feel about history. We've had the back and forth. I've already expressed how I feel about history, especially from a solution-oriented standpoint. I don't think obsessing about history is a goal-oriented solution to a modern thing, because the answers that you need aren't in the past, they're in the present. And I don't really hear him talk about it that much. So like history has its place, but nigga, you need to know what's going on like right now and what's going on 20 years from now, so you can prepare for that. So like you need to be talking about, you know, computer tech, AI. You need to be talking about those things. If you're talking about solution oriented, you know what I mean? Like the answer is not in the past. So, but I just, and maybe it's just because I've been in the space too long, but this obsession over history, and particularly oppressive history, is just I'm over it at this point. I don't want to argue about slavery. I don't want to argue about Jim Crow. Like if you don't know it by now, I like we not kids on this panel, bro. Like if you don't know about Jim Crow by now, I don't know. In 2026 and you over the age of 30, I don't know what you know what I'm saying? I don't know what to tell you. Like to me, history is like a touch and go kind of thing. It's not a we stay here kind of thing. And that's always been my issue with it. Like it has its place.
Everything moves, man, with time. It's like, but I say the same. I say, you know, whether you know the history or not, it's still going to repeat itself. And if you can't tell me that a lot of the history or things going on now, even though we knew the history from the past, you know, ain't going on or moving forward, then, you know, it could be talked about for you to have some type of knowledge to you know, see how you're gonna make it, see where you're gonna go from there. But yeah, like sometimes it's not that it's irrelevant, but it doesn't move you forward,
right?
Because you just talk.
And so you know, this is a question that I've been thinking about. I haven't actually asked anybody this, so maybe this is a good testing ground for the question, because I've been thinking about it. If you wanted to succeed in this day and time, would you be better off comparing? Let's say, let's say, I guess we could say black people. Let's take that group, right? Because that tends to be the discussion. Would you rather look at black people from back then or another group that is succeeding right now? Which would be more beneficial if you're talking about progression?
I say now. I would say now, but it depends. That's kind of like a question. Well, not tough, but I gotta figure that out, because there's something that happened back then with people and they progressed till now, to where you know, maybe you came from and you see, I don't want to go back that way, or I want to move forward that way, but not forget about what happened.
Right. And I would say it's like a 70-30, right? I would say 70% of your conversation should be now, and then like 30% should be touching on like what happened. You know what I mean? Because what you need is here right now. Like they didn't have AI back in, you know, the 1960s, the 1940s, not like they do now. Or they didn't have like all this technological advancement that's going to be pivotal in people progressing in the next 10, 20 years. So I think that, you know, 70% of the conversation should be focused on now in the future, whereas 30% and then 30% should be that historical part. But at the very most, the values of back then, you know what I mean? Like I could understand the values of the people before you, of your group, but I think practical skills are more vital nowadays, and it just seems like those discussions, this part of, you know, YouTube is not really interested in, which is fine, because if I want to be productive, I know where to go. You know what I'm saying? Like if people really want to be productive, they know where to go. That's why when you come into,
I don't disagree.
When you come into a fuckery space talking about we need to be better than this, like nigga, get your ass up out of here, bro.
And what's better? You know, I always hear do better. If you knew better, you do better. Common sense.
You know what I'm saying?
Common sense is taught for the most part. You know what I'm saying?
Niggas,
People get taught how not to jaywalk, they still do it and get hit. You know?
yeah, man, yeah. And people like Illa will do stuff like that. He's one of those. It just rubs me the wrong way. Where you'll come into a space where it's complete fuckery going on. Like you'll come up on Team Fatties or Ilcon or like an Anton stream where there's fuckery and be like, yo, don't y'all think we need to be better than this? And it's like, no, nigga, like this ain't that kind of space. Go to the space where that shit is going on, where people are building. Don't come over here
Yeah,
in the middle of the purge.
You're not reading the room. That's what it is.
Shit, man.
Or he's trying to set some bullshit up or go somewhere else and then talk about, like, when it comes to history, man. Yeah, I'm always looking at history because I like history. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't do, you know, supreme mathematics in the 120 without knowing some type of history. You know, because it's important, but you harp on it. Do you harp on the history? You know what I'm saying?
Right,
like,
right.
You look at people's mistakes or their do-goodings or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's like when I was an apprentice, man. Like I didn't learn from the journeyman, you know, of all the good that he did. I also learned from the mistakes that he did.
Correct.
You know? And my history has mistakes in it. So, you know, did I learn from those mistakes so I can move forward into the now? Because you can't go back to the past, bro. You know what I'm saying? And you'll never. The future is now. You know, the future is always now. You're always in the now. You know what I'm saying? 2 seconds from now, you're gonna say a word. I predicted the future. How are we gonna do this? How are we gonna do that? You know what I'm saying? But you can't. You know how people say, you know, you gotta have a plan A, and then sometimes a plan B, but never harp on plan B because then you won't see plan A.
Correct.
That's how you gotta look at it.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree. And it just seems like, yeah, a lot of these conversations are harping on plan B when, you know, the gold mine is in plan A. But
what's their plan A though? What's their plan A?
Plan A would be more of the skill set beneficial conversations, but those conversations typically people don't want to be there. You know what I'm saying? That's not the, like, people, because I've seen those kinds of people do it, right? They first come to the space and they want to fucking enlighten everybody, right? Then when they realize that being enlightened doesn't bring you views unless there's a little bit of entertainment and fuckery, then they'll add some entertainment and fuckery. And then what ends up happening is they do more entertainment and fuckery and less enlightening.
You know what? You're right. Because look, me and a guy, Gold P, was talking this morning about that. You know, about channels, right? And it's not a hate thing, but it is a wonder thing, right? Like, he's got 2,000 subs. I got what, 740 plus subs, right? I don't go live a lot, so I can see where I won't get views a lot, right? I don't have topics. I go off the mathematics for my topics of the day, and I ramble, right? And something will come out. Go Professor has a topic every day, no fuckery. He don't curse except on Saturdays when we had the boom boom room. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And but he's giving knowledge out there, right? But he may have 5 or 6 people in his chat. All these other people, they do fuckery, they talk nonsense, they do this, they do that. They have 1 billion people in their chat. And he's like, I don't understand what's wrong. I said, look, man, when you're not about even mine, like, I may have some shit going back and forth on a panel, but that's on my panel. I don't go on other people's panels and do that. Then come back to my panel and start talking shit about everybody else, right? I generally like having good, you know, conversations with people that I know or, you know, that I've been around in the space or whatever. And, you know, we talk about what we talk about. Wherever we go, it's going to go, right? But those are the things that people want to see. And that's why you know, you may have a so-called enlightened channel that don't get no views. People don't come.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because people aren't serious about that. Like how much longer can you talk about slavery? And I'm not saying that don't know about it, don't know, but you got to do the history of that type of shit, right?
Right.
How it affected you and this, that, and the third. But it's like, yo, I'm 50 years old and I still got a library card, dog. I still buy books, physical books.
Yeah, I do too.
In your pocket, you can look up some stuff and don't look at the first Google line that comes up and be like, yeah, I'm a PhD now. You know what I'm saying? You still gotta do your due diligence to that information. That's if you want to know it. But me sparking up a live, man, talking about something that I just read, and I have whether I may be working out an understanding on my rambling of this topic, right? Which is fine for me. But I'm not gonna pretend like, yo, man, I know it all now. I done read one line because Google said, yeah, this happened. I'm not gonna do that either.
Right.
But they're not here to be serious, man. You know what I'm saying? So it's a little tougher on certain channels that just get down like that.
Right. And I'm glad Complex he came up here because I was actually gonna address this comment because and what's good with you, bro? This comment that he put, he said enlightenment equals information equals money. And I would say that is definitely true for me personally, but a lot of these folks want to grow their channels in an area of, I guess, low hanging fruit, I would say. And so they know that enlightenment shit won't grow their channel. And most people on the internet either are looking to be educated or looking to escape. And this just happens to be the part of YouTube where people want to escape.
Yeah.
So unless you're having, effery with that enlightenment, I guess they're not really interested in that shit. But the good thing is that there's a whole nother part of YouTube of people that will. You just have to find a way to adjust your algorithm for it to happen. And a lot of times I think you just need to, a lot of those people need to start their own channel or start another channel so they can move the algorithm in that direction. Because once your algorithm is, if you've been doing 2 or 3 years of reacting to manosphere content and then all of a sudden you want to be fucking productive, your channel has a low likelihood of pivoting over into that algorithm.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's my take on it, bro. Hey, yo, I was gonna ask, man, how's that garden going, Complex? How are things, bro?
Everything is good, bro. What's going on, y'all? Happy New Year's.
Man.
I've been making myself
come on up,
scarce.
Sid. You come on up. The panel's open.
Well, not really making myself scarce, man. Like there's been shit's gone down and I got, different things going on. Garden's going good, man. We're doing some winter gardening and we're transitioning here to the spring. So I was just telling my daughter, you're going to be doing some mulch and we've been composting for like the last 4 or 5 months. So I got a bunch of composted soil. So I'm trying to go a little bit bigger this year, bro, with the garden shit.
Mm-hmm.
Just dietary things, just a whole bunch of shit. But I mean, that kind of maybe ties into what you're talking about in terms of like the space or whatever. Here's the thing, Lou. When I came into this space, this is like, I don't know, 10 years ago. All right. Like nothing was defined. Like there wasn't like these definitions and all this shit. It wasn't. Right. See, so it had more of the ability to kind of be what you, not necessarily what you wanted it to be, but okay, you curate, like you were saying, your channel, and then it is what it is. Now, to say that, if your content is about like, let's just say information, which would equal enlightenment, which would equal money, right? All of those three are intertwined. Right. All of those three are intertwined. So to say that that's not a space for Black men to dwell in, for example, right? That's a stretch. I would say fundamentally, Black men should want to be there. The question becomes, what's with the fuckery, right? You know, now I'm like this. If you want to do fuckery, that's fine. But, you know, I oftentimes got chastised for that channel that I used to run. And people would tell me, well, I don't know why you're trying to do that in this space. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. I'm like, this channel existed before a lot of these people. Like, wait, time out. Like, we got to follow the line of procession here. Right.
Yeah.
So it ended up becoming all this podcast and these fucking, what do they call them, super panels? What the fuck? Like bro, it's like a fucking cottage industry at this point. But do you honestly think that was the case back 8-10 years ago? It became that, dude. So it becomes this shit, and then motherfuckers want to turn around. Well, if you want to go talk about some positive shit, go elsewhere. It's like, well, wait a minute, where the fuck did you people come from?
Yeah, the shift changed.
Your
who's that?
Your channel. That's me.
Go ahead.
Let me turn on my shit real quick so you know.
Oh,
your channel is your channel, and that is the space, right? But people
that's it.
Body into this collective space, like you, like I was told one time that I wasn't manosphere. And I said, I've been manosphere since 75.
I was about to say, how is that possible, bro?
I'm gonna always take the name. I don't care who don't like the space of manosphere. I just don't operate in the same way everybody else operates.
Right.
You know, different types of businesses, you know, that people go through. There's not just one type, right? Even in fuckery or criminal, you know, ways, you know, elements or whatever, people do different things. So I mean, that's your space.
Right.
And who the fuck are you to tell me, you know,
exactly,
you know, you ain't this and you ain't that because you want to see this.
Yeah. Well, doesn't that speak to that person because of what you just said? Well, you are the one that wants to see this. You're the one that goes here. It's not a me problem, bro. That's a you problem, dog.
And that's what I was gonna say, Complex. Like I'm not saying that black people don't want to hear that information. What I'm saying is that the black people that do want to hear that information aren't over there. And so if your and so if your algorithm is tied to over there, it's hard to expand that out. It's hard to get your channel out of that if you've been doing content based on those people over there for so long.
Well, who's trying to pivot? Who's trying to pivot and do that?
Trying to pivot.
Just a question. Well, like so, for example, because you're talking about a pivot. If your algorithm is steeped in like one sector or something, as they call it, right? And then what to speak to your point, right? And then you're trying to like pivot out of that.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you're talking
about? I guess you could. I'm saying that if you've been in a space of, let's say, manosphere, fuckery, Keisha, the black bitch, all that shit, right? Yeah. And then you want to move, and you've been doing reaction content on your channel for that, and then at some point you decide, you know what, we need to be more productive. As AM1 says, skills and resources and all that stuff, and you try to take your channel in a different direction. From that algorithm, it's a lot more difficult to do. That's what I'm saying.
You might as well just create a new channel.
Start all over.
Exactly.
Yeah, you may as well just make a new one. Yeah.
I'm gonna start doing the dating coach channel.
Get out of here, bro.
There you go.
Branch out into other things like that. Yeah.
Get out of here.
Have a network of channels.
New to Dean.
New to Dean, bro.
New Cario. What up, Wolf?
Hey, yeah. This is Wolf, aka Sick Diggy. Complex, how you been, brother? Shaka, thank you for having me up. Peace to you, bro.
Chilling,
peace to you, God. How you been? How's the baby, by the way?
Baby, man. She's 14 going on 30.
14 already?
Yeah. No, she's a little woman, man. Like, you know, I'm actually starting a business with her this year. So, you know, she's going to be starting out baking, and then it'll go into some of the other stuff that she does. So we're going to do a little virtual restaurant type of situation. You know,
Okay, all right, that's great. That's great.
Yeah, I'm not trying to like feed her all the way into the meat grinder that they call the educational system. Like, she has a skill, man. May as well start now.
You want to encourage her into what she has a gift and a talent, so you want to encourage her in that direction. Let her do what she wants. All right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's my responsibility as her dad, right? I'm the only parent she's got.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Well, you got to push her in the right direction. Sometimes you got to push your kids. It is what it is.
Yep.
It's never enough. So
she's all good though, man. She's all good.
That's good. That's good. Hey, no matter what, Aina Abwa. Remember that phrase. So, for anybody that doesn't know what that's something in my native language. That's between me and Complex.
I was going to ask, what is that? Well, I was going to say, what is that?
Aina Abwa means the eye of her father, or the apple of her father's eye. That's how we say daddy's girl, daddy's little girl.
That's what's up.
Because in my mother tongue, when a father says he loves his daughter, he says, "Aine," which means you are as precious to me as my eye.
Okay. That's what's up, man. Appreciate that.
It's good to pass on the knowledge, give people a certain new perspective, new way to think about things. And to Lou and Shaka's point earlier about, trying to pivot into other directions, understand that, unfortunately, the masses of people are just want to be fed a diet of spectacle and entertainment. You know what I'm saying? So when you realize only a chosen few could comprehend what you're saying, you got to take your message to all those who are willing to listen. But it's hard to do it out here, especially with the orgasm.
But what did they say about the times of Rome and the bread and the circuses and
bread and circus? That's what it was.
What did that reflect of the decay of society at that point in time?
It reflected. I'm glad you asked me that question, because what did bread and circus symbolize? One, you wanted to keep the people well fed. At the same time, by having the circus, i.e. the gladiatorial games in the Colosseum, you kept them well entertained, because that way they're too focused on what's really important. This stuff is just distractionary and such.
Thank you for saying that.
I mean, consider some of us who grew up in the third world during, the height of the Cold War era. Like how propaganda was used to keep people's minds controlled in a certain way.
You from the streets?
So you,
Are you from the streets?
From the streets?
I don't know if I can say I'm from the street. I don't know if I can say I'm from the streets. What do you mean? Lou, come on now. Free zone, don't do that to me.
No,
don't do that to me.
He's doing a callback to the Corey and Anton internet nigga, street nigga shit. That's what we talking about.
This is a joke, bro.
Yeah, you good, bro. You good. But I will say I
might as well put on a hat to do a Corey Holcomb impression if it's gonna be like that.
No. Well, you want to switch shares?
I think the because I be in the productivity part of YouTube.
No, I get it.
The productivity space is a huge space of YouTube. And it's from everything. How to organize calendars, DIYs, finances, wealth, and all that stuff. It's just if that's what people who want to know about that stuff know where to go. And I think I think a lot of what the issue is, right, is that they want space A to do what space B is doing instead of just going to space B and partaking in what space B is doing. Correct. That's the issue. It's like, why can't when you say why can't space A, you go to space A and be like, why can't y'all be more like space B? And it's like, nigga, we don't want to do that shit. Go fuck over there.
Lou,
go ahead.
There's a history of that, bro. That has an origin, bro.
I know it hasn't. I know that.
And it has to do history. But what I was going to say, I'm going to say what it has to do with is that, again, dude, as the space grew, right, as the manosphere space grew, right?
Mhm.
So you start to get these sort of overlap of spheres, right? So case in point, dude, and we didn't do the 3.0 Manosphere 3.0. I didn't write all that manifesto shit to be like antagonistic to anyone. What it did though was it did kind of create like a boundary in some sense.
Right.
And then what you have is you'll have overlaps, dude. So like, for example, dude, Ty City used to come over to the Brain Trust a lot. Now, would you say that the majority of his crowd are Brain Trust listeners? No.
Mm-mm.
Right. But you would have this overlap. And at one point, it was actually dope.
Right.
We grew that channel grew fast because of overlap, right? But then we got into the cottage industry aspects of it. Right, we got into the cottage industry aspects of it. We got into the money making super chat cash app, sort of like the industry, the podcast fucking super panel industrial complex. Let's call it that.
Right.
Then that became the monetary sort of fiscal standard for this medium, and so at that point, you know, people will be compelled to like go. Huh?
Would it be accurate to say that when it became that super panel thing, it kind of pushed people like you out of the way? Like, I wasn't there at the time, so
no, it didn't push me anywhere, dude. Because you know what happened, bro? I've had a lot of cats hit me up offline to do real business. Shout out to Spawn the Programmer, dude. He launched his own micro mobility shop in Florida, dude. Just fucking with me, man, over the last year. So he's got his shit popping off. And seeing for me, that's the real shit. That's why I've never asked niggas for a super chat or a cash app or nothing online and gave niggas all the game. I'm like, now fuck with your boy if you want to get bread. That's how I fucked with it. Hey, that's my model though. And I didn't go over to other people and be like, you need to do it like me. I didn't do that shit.
Right, and no. I wasn't indicting you with anything.
Oh no. I'm not saying no. I'm not saying that. No. I'm not saying you.
But
yeah, no. I'm not saying. I'm not implying that you said that though.
And here's what I'll say. I'll say that when it comes to productivity, right? Because people come into the space with either one or two goals: to either grow on YouTube or grow off of YouTube. And so it seems like you're winning in whatever you're doing, because the real work is off of YouTube. Now, if you were concerned with growing your channel, then that would be a completely different conversation, because those aren't the same goals. You know what I mean? So that's how I look at it, man.
And not only that, but not only that, Lou, and I think that's Trey. Is that Trey who came up? I don't want to hog it up too much, but in addition to that, like, so for example, like New and we got roots that go back to LA, back to the 90s and shit. Okay, so it's like you'll catch me on a panel, and I'm not coming here necessarily to talk productivity like that, right? I'm coming here because this is the homie,
right?
Like we trade, jungle beat tapes and shit. So this is just it's a Saturday, and I'm kicking it. My daughter's making some chocolate chip cookies, and I'm over here blowing a couple bowls, dude, waiting for some parts to show up. You know what I mean? So I'm just chopping it up. You know what I mean? See, so sometimes there's like that third part of it where we're just talking about being social and shit. This is a different venue, like post-pandemic, where people could be social with other people, right? Chopping it up with your niggas and shit like that can happen on platforms like this, not necessarily just the barbershop, for example.
Right. No, I feel it, bro. I feel it.
You know what I'm saying?
What's good, Trey? What's good, bro?
Hey, what's going on, man? I just been here ghost watching. Now you started talking about the B side, then I was like, all right, let me hit the link. But what up, Complex, man?
Trey, what's up?
Bro? Man,
it's been a minute, dog. What's cracking with you?
Shoot,
what's cracking with you, bro?
Man, I got off the streaming tip because Free Zone put me on to the money, man.
There you go.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
there you go.
Free Zone put me on to trading, and then
it's all about the money, bro.
Yeah, like my wife has a physical product, and while she was putting her physical product together, I got into a whole lot of AI content, doing AI content for her so she could be all over the place. Versus,
oh no shit.
Yeah. So programs like Nano, Banana, WAN 2.2, Claude, Dude, man, I ain't got time for it, man. I'm streamed now, and I'm like, okay, I do it as a break now.
Yeah,
because it's so intense on your brain. I hit the panels, listen to the fellas to get some brain relief.
Yeah, exactly, bro. That's what I'm on. Bro, I've been fucking troubleshooting shit all week, dog. I'm just coming to chop.
Yeah, but how's the daughter doing, man?
Man, I was telling Naima and Lou, man, like shit, she 14 going on 30, bro.
I got.
So she already got her 401k ready, huh?
Man, she got paper stacked, bro. But I'm gonna get this other shit off the ground, But bro, Trey, you said you got 3 of them?
Yeah, I got 3 adult daughters, man.
Damn.
Because I remember, bro, because when we first started chopping it up on the internet, Lou, this is how far back it go. I know Complex, you was dealing with, elementary.
That's what dude, she's a baby. She's a baby girl, dude. She's a baby girl. Yeah.
And my daughter was still in high school. My youngest was still, in high school around the COVID time and all that before that. And now they're grown, man. And it's a whole different level of stress.
Bruh. I'm starting to learn. I only got 1. Oh, you got 3. Shit. Woo. I feel you.
My youngest brought her.
I have a question to ask both Complex and Trey,
go ahead.
actually.
What's up?
What y'all hi, peace, brother. I wonder if either one of you has ever seen a documentary. There was a documentary I remember by the BBC that came out in 2009 called The Biology of Dads. Talks about the importance of a father has in a child's life from prenatal all the way up into adulthood.
Mm-hmm.
No, I haven't. I wish I had.
No.
You can find it on YouTube. It's called The Biology of Dads.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to take everything with a grain of salt. Got to take everything with a huge grain of salt,
Well, I mean, all information needs to be somewhat scrutinized, right?
Oh, absolutely. Got to filter it out and whatnot. I remember, I can agree with certain people on certain aspects, and then with certain aspects I don't agree with, I got to scrutinize and ask questions and whatnot.
But then again, information also can be information, and facts are facts, right? Regardless of maybe you say a belief position or what have you. So you have to recalibrate based on facts. So if it's things that have to do with, say, the actual, because from what it sounds like the effects of a present father, something to that effect.
You have a couple of neuroscientists, child psychologists, what do they call them? Evolutionary people in evolutionary psychology and physiology. They also study this stuff. There was a woman. She had Go ahead.
I was going to say that, we talked about this a lot back in the day in the Spear, and I used to say that even having a pook dad who's present 24/7 to have a pook having full custody is better than no dad at all.
Than no dad,
Yeah, it leaps and bounds ahead of that daughter's progress. She might end up like Floyd Mayweather's daughter, but still, she ain't gonna be out here in the streets.
The greatest father, I think of certain men who've been the greatest fathers. I mean, Joe Jackson, the Jackson family, I would say Eddie Griffin once said he should be considered one of the greatest fathers, right? Because he whooped those kids into superstardom, but more importantly, all those kids graduated high school. Nobody was messed up or got pregnant prior to that. Everybody was set straight in a way. And then when they became adults, they did what they did.
Yeah, I mean,
he didn't hear any mess. Yeah,
Naima. I think there is. So let's just do this, right? So in the community where I live, over in Central California, right? There's a lot of Hindu and Punjabi community here, right? And they do multicultural living, right? This is one of the keys to how it is that they accumulate wealth real quick. Right, because they'll have multi-generationals in one home, and then there's a mother and father in the home, and then they have an adult son and his wife, and then let's say they have a kid, and what the son is doing is building a business, and they're saving money at the same time, And then what they do,
Cutting
they tell them
costs,
just pay. Yeah, and they pay cash for a house right around the corner, and then they wash, rinse, repeat.
What I think that like helps out with that is that the more caste arranged marriage system that they have, it kind of works out. Removing all that love from the equation, as a couple, you can get down to business and make strategic decisions.
And that's how they do it. Yeah.
Wait a minute. When you say Punjabi, do you mean Sikh? You mean like the gentleman, the folks with the,
so
the
like
Sikhs,
in
the
my
folks with
community,
the turbans, yeah,
in my community,
I grew up around
like
South Asians, you know, so I know what you mean. I understand what you mean.
Yeah, there's like 3 Sikh temples literally like in a 2-mile radius from where I live, dude. They're like everywhere. Yeah.
Well, you know, in Texas, man, they got the Patel Mafia, man. It runs all the motels and hotels here.
You know, Trey, I saw it. Now I did see a documentary on that, about how they got into that. You know how this isn't even some stereotypical shit, but you know, let's be real. Like, you know how like Chinese people own like donut shops, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So like the motel industry was kind of like promised to them. It's some other shit, bro. I saw a whole documentary about how they got into the game.
Well, what they did was they created like their own Federal Reserve, like a national bank, and just for those of Hindu or Indian, Punjabi, whatever descent, and they ran it like the Federal Reserve, a private institution, but just funding their people. Their people had to meet requirements. Couldn't be no pook off the streets. Any type dude. You had to come. You had to come correct with your business plan, or go open up a gas station in the hood with somebody. I was gonna say, Trey. The reason why I'm laughing at that is because any of them that want to come to California, they're required to learn Spanish in India before they come here. Yeah. Bro, it's business. It's meritocracy, business by meritocracy, and you want in. It's like the mafia. It's like their own mafia.
And networking as well.
Yeah,
because remember, they sometimes branch out. To the rest of the folks. I could use my nationality as an example. Complex knows what I am. Shaka, but I don't think you guys might know, but I am actually East African. I'm Eritrean.
You're
It's kind of like Ethiopian.
I heard you speaking Tigray when I first came up.
Tigrinya. Tigray is a region in northern Ethiopia. They speak the same language. They're a separate ethnicity, but they're related to my people. We're like kissing cousins, love-hate relationship. But anyway,
I know.
We all network. We understand,
I almost married a girl.
Oh, did you?
In Germany, bro. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
You could have had a kid. You could have had beautiful babies, but hey. Okay.
But, so I got caught slipping.
Yeah, y'all have positive. Yeah, positive. I know you guys have positive effects up from us. Positive.
Yeah, we good peoples to this day, man. She was a great girl. Good peoples to this day.
That's what's up.
Good. That's good.
Yeah.
That's what's up. But I understand, it's my people. For many of us who were forced into exile, we branch out and we network with one another to help each other. Get where we need to be, and in turn, we help the others who come behind us. But we always have to give everybody the orientation, the breakdown of how things go, how to conduct yourself, and how not to mess up. Because we understand collective punishment and guilt by association, because many of us come from places where it's an honor-based society where our word is our bond. And when you vouch for somebody, you're putting your reputation on the line doing so. But unfortunately, we do have the bad apples. We all have our bad apples. We all have our trucks and boats.
Every group has the bad fucking apples, bro.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We got a network like that in Honduras, man. Because I don't know if y'all are familiar, but I got another crib in Honduras, and
Honduras, all right.
Yeah. Most of us where we at, veterans or whatever, government workers, retired, and we got a network over there, Americans. And
that's great.
It is, we got a band together, man. We fuck all the other differences shit we got back here in the States. When we over there, it's just us. So we form we got a little spot. We all kicking at a cigar bar, and owned by this Puerto Rican cat, and we hold it down. We look out for each other.
Help each other with legal stuff. There always got to be something with say with the Punjabi community, or with with the Sikh community, or with the other Indian communities. They always have certain people doing Yeah. You need to have like certain people in certain positions to help you out with certain things. Like say you got some people who are in finance, accounting, banking, and whatnot to know the ropes of how that works out. Just like any people who are
name
in
it. They
law.
have
Doctor.
name it out here,
Mhm.
dude. They have their own ambulance services,
Yeah.
real estate, realtors, spice shops, little markets.
Mhm.
I mean, you name it, dude. They so like that whole dollar circulating within a specific economy before it goes out into the
Mhm.
greater economy, dude. I would probably say there's circles probably like about 18 times.
And you know one
Absolutely.
thing, the fact a lot of Americans got to understand is that when you look at this kind of market, you're like, okay, how do
Mhm.
I do business with these men? Not oh man, they taking over, or they taking our stuff. No. How do I do business? How do I look? I know you don't want your daughter marry my son, but let's sit down and see how we can do business.
Trey, it doesn't. I'm gonna tell you how. You know what? It doesn't have to be that. I'm the only e-bike. I'm the only micromobility shop in town. There's one other shop, right? And they charge way too much. So why do you think I'm so friendly with them, dude? And I know all of them and shit, bro. They be like, for Christmas, dude, they just buying me fucking booze. I drink beer, dude. That's about it. You know what I mean? They're buying me bottles of Jack and shit. Like, hey, brother, happy, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and everything, right? Because I take care of their stuff, dude. Like I fix a few of their things, and then next thing you know, I'm getting a call from, hey, you know Gurpreet? Yeah, I know, that's my friend. Yeah, well, he told me you fix, and then bring it on by, right? They're not trying to snake my business. They send their people to me.
Yeah. And one thing, anybody from Texas will listen, like in the metros, these fellas, they run the distribution networks. Like if you're talking like commercial distribution, like wholesale distribution, you got to get in with them. They'll get, because they own the gas stations and the hotels. You want it in all the gas stations, you got to go through them. They'll put it in their gas stations, but if you get in there right with them.
Well, just also trade the trucking as well. They're big in trucking here in California, Canada. It's largely like the West Coast in Canada.
Pacific Northwest.
So, yeah, all of that. Yep. But just to kind of tie, I wanted to kind of tie on a point that Freezone, I think he's still there, was making earlier. Okay, so see, I'm saying like, see, we could talk about this type of shit and it not be an issue, right?
Absolutely.
You get what I mean? And it's like, it's not a, oh yeah, all you niggas in the space. If you're not talking, it's not necessarily that. It doesn't have to be that. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like, well, I ain't talked to Trey in some years, so I remember we was in the Wii game at one point, both of us. I was here out in California. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, we talked the Wii game back in the day. Yeah.
Yeah, I gave that up, man, because my daughter, my oldest had a mental breakdown, man, and I had to get out the game, and that's when I got into trucking. Shout out to MOT, and it's like what you say about YouTube.
There you go.
Me and MOT, we had our beef and all that, but I got in the trucking game. I just listened to MOT streams and just took notes. He gave the game away for free.
Well, I mean, here's the deal, right? Like I'm like this, man. I don't know what other people's intentions are, right? Like I said, know me off of this shit. I'm the same nigga, like on this shit, off of this shit. You ask anybody, you hit me up, hey bro, like, hey, tell me a bit more about that micromobility shit, dude. I was like thinking about an e-bike. Oh man, I got you. What you need? I'm that type of dude. Now I can't speak for everybody else. You know what I'm saying? And if there's other people that are like present in the space or whatever for different intentions and different reasons, typically I won't find myself over there, dude. It's like when we was talking about the algos, my shit is relatively clean, dude.
Nice.
You get what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna keep it a bean, dog. Like if it ain't like some racing shit, some business shit, politics shit, if it's not like some e-bike, e-scooter shit or battery, if it's not like shit in that realm, dog, it ain't on my shit. Real talk.
Can I get an audio test? Can you hear me? Okay?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you sound good, man.
Ragnarok,
You good?
man. Bro, what
Been a
the heck?
while.
Where the hell you been, Ragnarok?
I've been sober for 3 years. That's one.
Salute to you.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Salute,
man.
Salute.
Hey, but I got to get back to work here, man. I got. Let me. Hey, Ragnarok, I just want to say what's up, man. But I got to get back to work here, man. Good tag.
Oh,
in.
shit.
Appreciate you having me up here.
Hey, peace.
All right, Trey.
Peace,
Hey,
bro.
Trey, before you leave, before you leave, my mom will teach you another word of my mother tongue if you don't know it. Since you know you are enamored with my people. The word is Howe. Howe means my brother.
Salute.
All right.
Hey, y'all take it easy. Be safe on this Saturday night, fellas.
All right.
All right, bro.
All right. Likewise. Have a blessed Sunday as well. Peace. It's always good to leave people on a good note, you know, something to think about.
Facts. What's good, Ragnarok, man? What you got on it?
Oh, bro, man, I've been busy. Got sober. Went through some Hills Have Eyes, cult level shit. People tried to kill me. You know it. All sorts of shit. You know, but
Okay.
the grind never stops, and I've been sober for a long time. Yeah, I used to be bong. I used to be bong handing
No, that's
all the
what's up,
time,
bro.
drinking too much, right? But yo, like, ever since I dealt with some stuff I can't really talk about, like, bro, there was these cultists that came out the fucking woodwork trying to fucking kill me, bro. Like, I was like, what the fuck?
Damn, bro.
Well, they just didn't appreciate how I know all the fucking secrets and didn't have to go through all the shit they did, right? Like, they don't understand. Once you go with the Holy Spirit and discernment and you become sober and you can see the signs, you can learn all these things. You don't need to pay a fucking cult for knowledge, bro. Like, they don't like that. They don't like how you...
mathematics, man.
Yeah, like one thing I'm hooked up on right now is you know, the equation of pi. So in the equation of pi, it's an infinite set of numbers, right? If you translate the numbers to names, it's every single name in existence.
Oh,
I've heard that before.
It's literally the book of life hidden in a freaking spiral, and it's everywhere.
Interesting. Yeah,
Right?
I've definitely
mathematics
heard about it
is a universal language, so
It's all
yeah,
in
I
there,
get
bro.
that. I can see that. I can see that.
And they recently figured out with quantum science, you can manipulate time with the Fibonacci sequence.
1, 1, 2, 3, 5.
It goes all the way to 1,
I've heard of
4,
that. 1, 4, 4.
But yeah, like
wow.
there's a lot of breakthroughs in quantum, and there's even people starting to figure out like spiritual warfare. It's not just some hoop de loop. Like there's some serious spiritual warfare that's been going on lately, right? And it's not a joke, bro. There was these straight up, like I'm serious right now. There was these cannibal cults hiding as Christians, like faking being Christian. You know, like literally wolves in sheep's clothing, bro. It was crazy. But like it's a bit off topic, but yeah, it's crazy how some people like you know how I prided myself on being a cult buster back when you met me. It's like that, bro. Like when you figure out some of these cults, they just come at you. But like one thing witches and warlocks don't want you to know, whether you believe or not. Prayer stops witchcraft. It makes a shield around you. So if you ever hear somebody tell you don't pray, whether it's Islam, Catholicism, you know, Judaism, whatever the fuck, if somebody's telling you not to pray, they're trying to take advantage of you. Just letting you know. I've had that situation. A literal youth pastor tried telling me to not pray. I was like, the fuck? Turns out he's a fucking witch by night and a pastor by day. It was madness, bro. Like this guy. Like,
that's pretty common. I'm not surprised by that actually.
It's one of their darkest rituals. So high level Satanists, right? They have a high level ritual. What they do is they go become a priest, but they don't do exorcisms. They learn how to do exorcisms, but they do the opposite. They're more like summoners, right? And they literally like fake being holy in front of everybody. And this is a way they damage the church and the flock, like in the worst way, right? Bit off topic, but like these cultists, whether they're like political left wing or just, even cultists hiding in conservatives. I found, like, I kind of abandoned the left versus right thinking I used to have. That's a big update for me. Like, you know, basically a software update mentally, right? And because I realized it's becoming so cultish on both sides, and I actually stopped supporting Donald a long time ago, and it's for spiritual reasons, because, like, anyway, they say the Antichrist he builds towers, he boasts about himself, he promises peace but brought war. You know, it's
like
like
the Tower of Babel.
Exactly. Well, exactly.
Yeah.
He builds towers or Trump towers all over the place. And here's another thing. The Antichrist is said to have a head wound that he's going to heal. You know what I mean? So, like, a lot of people are putting two and two together, and they're like, "Hey, yo, this is fucked up, bro." And guess what I found? Amongst the MAGA conservative crowd, there was literally a cannibal cult hiding in pretty professional business suits, claiming to be Christian and right wing. So, and like, I found cults a long time ago in the left wing who were like hardcore satanic, like, you know, like that 769 cult or 764, whatever the fuck it's called. Like, a lot of them are hardcore left wing or even right wing. But like, I just found a lot of these cults, they're trying to pull strings in so many ways that most people don't even understand.
Right. And I'm gonna kick it to Black Manosphere, but what I'll say, because I've been saying that for actually ever since Trump got in. Actually, what you're seeing is horseshoe theory, bro. You're seeing the extremes of both sides pretty much mirroring themselves,
right?
And saying they're saying the same things, but they're saying it for different reasons. So that's
it's
really
like
all.
Two sides of a mirror, right?
Correct. Black Manosphere, what's going on, bro? Salute, man.
Ain't nothing much. What's going on? Salute to the brothers, man. Salute.
Hey, what's good? What'd you have on? What'd you come up to say, bro?
Oh, nothing, man. I was just, chilling. Just came up to just hear what was going on. Sound like y'all into some occultism.
Yeah, you can either contribute to that or you could do your own thing, man. It's up to you, man.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, I don't know. I just look at myself and just people and things like that. I just think like, the most humble people, the most knowledgeable people, and the most godly like people are probably not going to be parts of corporations and industries and religions, and you know what I mean? Like part of the
nail on the
industries.
hammer, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
Every single humble dude is tattooed or comes from the hood or something. Every time. You are absolutely right on that, sir.
Right. So, and it's like when you see, and like it's like pastors, double life people, and all this type of stuff. It's like the most sick and insane and crazy people are part of these corporations, industries. You know what I'm saying? And it just makes it seem like, the poor or the meek, you know what I'm saying? Oh, they're nothing. And it seems like everybody that's in the industries and in the corporations is everybody, but they the most wicked people with the most materials and things to use to do wickedness.
Just so I'm kind of understanding. I just wanted to ask you, just so I'm understanding, right? So if you're a business owner or you own a company, you're inherently evil.
I mean, to be in business is to be cutthroat, right? It's to outdo somebody else. Business is slavery, right? It was all business.
No. To be in business is to sustain oneself. Like I do that for myself and my daughter. I like now Lou and Nu and Nema, they know I'm widowed. I'm a widowed single father of a daughter.
I think he's trying to say.
I'm not being personal about anything. I'm just looking.
No. The reason why I'm being personal about it is because, like that's kind of, and just again, we're having dialogue, right? You see, so I welcome the pushback as well, right? I welcome the pushback. But this is pushback on the notion that if you're a business owner, if you create something, for example, a device, a product, a service or something like that, and you make a business of it, and if what that does is actually serve the needs of someone, or it's a good that someone is looking to purchase, I'm trying to find where's the inherent evil in that.
Well, I can provide nuance to this if you guys want.
Well, it's a simple question. I didn't ask for nuance. I'm just saying, so for example, I do e-bikes, electric scooters, I build customs, I do repairs and all that. So if someone comes to me and their bike is broke and they pay me to fix it, where's the evil? Where's the evil intent in me helping someone? It's a real simple question.
I don't think
obviously there is none, but in business you want to outdo the other e-bike people. You want to climb in business. You want to reach higher heights. You want to do more business.
Well, no, what I want to do, here's what I do. No. I'll tell you because I'm the one doing it, right? See, so what I want to do.
Yeah, right. It's not personal. It's
not personal. But again, the pushback is coming from somebody who owns a business, right? And so I can't even intrinsically understand. Well, hold on one second, right?
It's not like you're guilty. It's not like you're guilty and you gotta, explain yourself or something.
No, that's not it. I'm speaking on the notion. I'm speaking on the notion that somehow owning a business is intrinsically and inherently evil.
No, it's not inherently evil. It's more so big business, big merchants, right? So let me give you an example, right? Jesus was actually a business owner. He was a carpenter. He made items and serviced as a carpenter. That's honest work. That's not what he's talking about big evil corporations. Let me finish.
But you're what he's trying to allude to, because he was actually telling me the opposite of what you're saying. I was speaking to him, and he's saying the opposite of what you're saying because he was telling me.
You were conflating.
I'm not conflating. I asked the question.
Hey, look, somebody with a small business who does a service like a carpenter or yourself, your e-bikes, dude, that's not evil. The merchants who cut people out, who run big monopolies, that's where the evil is.
Right, we were all born into monopolies.
There's a difference in that.
Okay, but isn't competition for resources, isn't that even reflected in nature? Don't animals fight over? That's also reflected
into a monopoly? When you're in a monopoly, I can't do anything against your business.
Monopolies have no competition. It's like BlackRock buying all the houses and shit. You're not buying every house, are you?
But in a first world economy such as the United States, right? Doesn't the consumer have the freedom of choice of where they put their money, where they spend their money?
You can vote with your money, but you got to know money is the root of all evil, bro. Like every time.
That's the big contention in the world, like, the free enterprise and business versus, everybody getting a piece and being able to
get into the crux of the matter. We're getting to the crux of the matter now. See, so you put your money where your mouth is, and that's required of every single person that pays taxes, number one, and number two, contributes to the greater economy. That literally is rendered on down to the people who spend the money.
Yes, but do you understand tribal economy?
But here's what I understand. Those big companies that you talk about, oftentimes they're publicly traded firms, right? Meaning they have a fiduciary responsibility to do what? Turn a profit to the shareholder. Now, you want to know how you can get a company on their P's and Q's? You do this thing called divestment. I get it in the space that, they talk about it in terms of like women and their dating options, but actual divestment is you pull your goddamn money, because see, what happens is when the consumer starts to pull their money, you know who else pulls their money? The shareholders.
Of course.
And then guess who gets hit? The CEO. Then they say, okay, hey, consumer, tell us, what is it that you want from us? That's how you bring them to their goddamn knees.
Right, everybody's trying to bring something up. Bring everybody to their knees, and
Let me bring something up that's pertinent in modern day business. You do have groups who pay together invest together, fund together. So say a secret society wants to like put their money into something and get a return. They'll do that. Instead of, you know, the whole idea, each individual can vote with their money. A whole group of individuals voting
when you say
with
secret, when you say secret society,
not just secret. It can even be a cult, bro. It can even be a religion. It can even be a religion. Here's a good example. Some Muslims, some Muslims boycott Israeli goods, right? That is group purchasing or non-purchase, right? That kind of political influence control is what some people vie to do. Now, the big merchants in America, the big corpos, the big corpos, if you think they're not sitting together, of course they are. That's who we're talking about when it comes to the big evil. They do things, and they even pay off the cops to do things that are very illegal. It happens.
So
every single empire has a sick merchant society, and even Jesus spoke against the merchants, bro. Every time. So Jesus is not speaking against the evil of like the average carpenter, my guy, or fisherman. He's talking about the merchant class.
But you're speaking. You're speaking to, in general, like the human condition, because again, you have those that will put themselves in the role of a producer, and then there's those that will put themselves largely in the role of consumer. And so what ends up happening is that there's a kind of lopsided distribution of wealth to some degree. Now it can become well, that happens when the number of producers becomes smaller in number. So what has to happen is that there has to be a divestment from the smaller number and then a redistribution back down. Because at the end of the day, we were just talking about this a little while ago. We're talking about how money flows through the system.
Right. And here's the thing. Some people do not get investment unless they're with the in-group. That's the thing. That's what I'm arguing on, the social in-group.
Okay, and so my counter argument to that would be Ford's announcement, for example, that they took a $20 billion loss on a mandated EV thing that they lost a shit ton of money on. A whole bunch of shareholder money walked. The whole shit blew up, and then the CEO just had to come out and say, hey, listen, look, I'm going to go ahead and just tell you Q4 earnings are going to be shit. But going into the new fiscal year here in March, we're dumping all the EV shit, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We're going to give the people what they want. And you know, there's a shit ton of Ford people out there, and they want V8s and all that. So guess what they're going to get? V8s and all that. Well, that's how you make your money talk.
You can even look at situations like it doesn't even have to be secret societies, cults. It can be nations. It can be groups. It can be fans of a certain consumer
It's not even
base.
that deep. We're talking about
But hear me out. It actually is that deep because money talks, right? If you have a big enough group with enough influence, you can pay out people. You can control things politically, religiously. So, here's one thing: the priests of the temple of old. This is why Jesus got so fucking pissed off, by the way. They had a merchant monopoly, and the priests were making a cut out of all the money making and lending in the temple, right? So they were making a cut, being landlords. Here, you can sell on this plot. That pissed Jesus off so bad because Jesus believes like it's a temple. It's supposed to be sacrosanct, right? And here's the thing. You have today so many groups of people. So back on the more occultic religious wing of things, religion is business. Big business to a lot of people. The super churches, Islam, you name it, bro. It's all a business. It always is a racket, and it's why the prophets fucking hated it. It's like it's always spits in the face.
What is the tie? So for example, right? Like if I'm thinking
the
business,
tie-in is like how do we make business?
I didn't finish the question. So like for example, like my industry, right, has to deal with small electric vehicles, right? And I deal with factories directly in China, for example, right? Though they're largely Buddhist and some of them are Christian denomination.
A lot of them are atheists. Some of them do have
and
some
then there's that too,
Chinese
right?
belief.
So let's put religion aside for just a second because see, when I talk to them, it's about the green. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
And they covet. Wait a minute. Well, dude, this is just how the world moves, man. I'm sorry, but look. Here's the thing. Of all other currencies, they value the USD. Number one. Okay. Number two. Right. There's this whole tariff game, right, that governments like to play.
Oh yeah.
There is that whole part, right? So case in point, dude, I got one vehicle supplier whose prices haven't changed, even though there was a shit ton of tariff announcements from Trump all throughout 2025. Yeah, starting around May, I think it was. I had to cancel a fucking battery.
Actually.
Well, no. When he basically said they were going to go from 10 to like 100%, and then at one point he went to 120 and then 145, I had to cancel a battery order because I could not guarantee that when the shit hit the shores over here, I wasn't due for 145% duty, right? So we had to remit all deposits, et cetera, et cetera. Deal gone. I lost a lot of money on that, right?
Well, that's the thing. Some people who play with the tariffs, they don't understand how it affects you, the small business.
But wait a minute. Well, wait a minute. No, because here's the thing. I'm going to go to some of my suppliers because some of them did not change their prices at all, right? Whereas that I had another one where I got an email and they said, okay, look, we have 2 payment changes, price change schedules scheduled for July and August. 15% on parts, 20% on vehicles as a result of the tariffs. So one company adjusted their prices for tariffs, right? The other one didn't. Question, who paid tariffs?
You did.
Well, wait a minute. One company didn't even change their price, so did I?
Okay, so that company ate up that situation, sure, but not every.
They couldn't, based on wait. If I'm going to go based on what the other company increased their prices on, I don't know about that. The math doesn't math. So this is the question. I'm sort of like a lot of times, dude, with a lot of this shit, and I'm not even saying that you're wrong, but I'm saying if I can compare 2 companies and one of them says, well, we got to adjust our prices for tariffs, and the other one who sources their same fucking products from the same goddamn country doesn't, well, what is this telling me? Are the tariffs really real, or is this a fucking money grab?
It's always a money grab. You need to understand that.
Okay, so we can agree to that point right there.
Yeah.
And this is what I'm saying. So to speak to your point about how companies do shit, bro, trust me on this because I do this shit internationally. I'm one of the guys that imports a lot of shit, dude. There's Chinese factories that hit me up and say, hey, run our shit for us. Well, here's our warehouses. We got one in LA, one in New Jersey. Okay. I get see, here's the thing, dude. Like I have to I've wired lots of money places and stuff. And I'm not even saying this shit to be on some yeah, I'm the man. I'm just saying, dude, I don't really kind of see this from like a biblical perspective. I'm looking at it in terms of
you're looking at it not even in the idea, the notion of a hidden hand or occult groups.
But I'm saying I'm familiar.
Nobody's
with
going
that
to influence
aspect of
the world by owning a bike making company, bro. Just saying.
I'm not, and nobody's trying. And I'm not saying that I'm trying to influence the world on that. I'm just saying that is a burgeoning method of transportation, especially for a lot of people that have been priced out of the car market. So I guess now you can understand why there's a demand for what I do. Yeah.
Well, no, I understand. But now let's
then don't diminish and say you're not trying to change the world. And I'm like, well, no, I'm not trying to do that, but I am providing a service. Let's keep it real.
You're providing a service.
Let's make sure we stay level set.
All right, well, let's level back and loop back to the notion of how big companies are evil, right? Let's look at movies like War Dogs or Lord of War, the weapons industry, right? You know, like weapons manufacturers don't give a shit about collateral, right? On the ground, human life being lost. They'll invest and bring money in, right? This is like big money, right? This is where the evil most people would talk about when it comes to big companies, because that's where the big money is, right?
But I would argue also that's the weapons industry. So I mean, like for
the
example,
weapons industry can influence politics, can influence culture. You can even have look, if I was a smart weapons lobbyist in the arms deals, right, I'd want to rile up the Zionist Christians who hate the terrorists and be like, and then get the Zionist support to basically get more deals down. That would be making so much bank selling weapons on the idea of taking out terrorists. That's a lot of money.
But is that like something that should be on the mind of like the average person?
Is that not necessarily?
I don't even think of shit like that.
But here's the thing.
I'm pretty tech savvy, but I don't even think of shit like that.
But say you care,
even though
about
I know
the election,
it exists.
Right? Say you want a certain policy in the election to go down, right? and you favor a policy of a specific group A or group B, whatever the fuck, doesn't matter, Democrat, Republican. We'll just keep it simple, group A, group B. You have a policy that group B likes. You like that policy. But the arms industry and other industries are lobbying to add in extra policies you may not agree with. So yes, you may not think about it, but it does get put in there. So you like that lower tax policy, but the party that won that you like that policy of will go on to do things you don't like, even though
I
you
like
got your little policy.
I like policy that benefits my industry. I'm a registered independent.
You are going to be absolutely into the interest of that because it's your business, right?
Well, that's what I'm trying to get
We're not
at,
even
right?
talking about how like service business is evil or anything. It's more the big businesses that like BlackRock buying up all the houses and basically paying, like millennials and Gen Z. The biggest problem in the West, Canada, America, Europe, is housing, right?
Yeah.
So how, like, the mass migration is causing housing to go up and job competition to go up. So that means people who want to build a home. So say you owned a business to make homes, you'd be getting bank. You'd be interested in wanting more migration, in wanting like prices to be fluctuated. Here's the issue: that would be considered evil because an entire generation is being priced out of the economy. Like millennials and Gen Z, first two generations that are below negative when it comes to buying houses, making families. It is a decay.
I would say, though, the argument, okay, so what is required to buy a house? Money, yeah?
Yes, but if the economy the money is inflated, include that, the inflation.
But I was going to say, so the problem isn't the house. That's not the problem. They're building a shit ton of houses out. Well, hold on. They're building a shit ton of houses where I live right now. I was just telling Free Zone Lou and some of the guys earlier. You know who's buying these up? No problem. The Punjabis and the Sikhs.
That's the thing.
The Bangladeshis and but here's the thing. What do they have? Capital. Why don't the average American have the type of capital that's needed to buy a home, a starter home, and do all that type of shit? Why is that? That's the question.
Nobody's investing in the infrastructure for local manufacturing. For example, most of America's money, most of America, and even Canada for that matter, because I'm Canadian, was manufacturing. The reason America was so good in World War II and the Germans knew they were going to lose, they found a fucking birthday cake in the logistics line randomly in the fucking front line. They knew they were going to lose at that point. They can keep it refrigerated. They can move it up. They got all the logistics down. That's from the manufacturing angle, right? America was a manufacturing giant. China knows America is trying to decouple because America is addicted to Chinese goods because of how cheap it is.
You're telling me I got to go out full of it.
That's exactly up your alley, right?
You're telling me
I knew you would like that because it's up your alley, right? So here's the thing. When it comes to decoupling for national security reasons, because if World War III breaks off and most of the medication America needs is from Europe and China, you're going to trust Europe a little more, but China not that much. And so it's a big issue, and America is barely manufacturing cars like it used to, or items or stuff like that. It turned into gig economy jobs.
But you know what that's about, right? You say you're in Canada.
Let me finish. So at 2008,
I want to touch on that point. Go ahead.
Because the big housing crash in 2008, most millennials were coming out of high school or just entering high school. I was in 8th grade back in 2008, right?
Okay.
So everybody got.
Did you just cut out?
And the housing prices have never been the same since 2008, and they've only been getting worse.
Right.
And at the same time, the whole economy for millennials and Gen Z coming up, those jobs, those coffee shop jobs, those McDonald's jobs, don't pay as much anymore. If you went to McDonald's in 1975, you'd be able to afford a house and a car.
Bro, so check this out. When you talk about 2008, now I'll tell you like this. You said what grade were you in?
I was in 8th grade, bro.
You were in 8th grade. Okay, dude. So at the time, bro, I had my own townhouse, bro. I'll be 49 this year. Okay.
So how did you get affected in the 08 crisis?
I lost my shit and became homeless for a while, bro.
That's fucked, bro.
Well, I'm saying
fucked.
I'm right there with you, right?
Mhm.
So what are the lessons that I've learned from this, right? So one is in addition to the economy question that what we were just talking about, because I said, well, it's really not it's not the house, it's the economy. It's your ability to access capital to purchase the house,
the jobs
right?
market, all that.
Yeah, and then there's the factors that center around that, right? And so these are the things that we have to address, right? So for this sort of new economy, this 4IR, fourth industrial situation we got, right? Everything's kind of tech centric, right? Even if you're going to
tech
be
got big investment, that's for sure.
It got a shit ton. But here's the thing, dude. What they hedged on was years of undereducating in millennials and Gen Z.
Oh yeah. Millennials and Gen Z are in that gray zone where like
dude,
the jobs we studied for don't exist.
They targeted you guys. Let me tell you why.
Oh yeah.
Because see, I come from the last gen. Me and New, for example, right? We're around the same age. Like we come from the last generation of people who had, we had wood shop, metal shop. We had every kind of fucking shop you could think of in school. Auto shop, right? You come out of high school a fucking mechanic, bro.
No, we had that too. We had that too as millennials,
Really?
but Gen Z, it got phased out.
Well, I was going to say it started with you guys, but later on it phased out.
Just a moment, Complex. Just give me Complex. Hold on a second. Ragnarok, right? I'm gonna just call you Ragnar. Yeah, that's still a common name. I live in Norway, and that's a very common name, by the way. Ragnar.
You just we call him Rags.
I do have Swedish ancestry as a Canadian, if that comforts you.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case, Spencer Javla.
That's Rags.
I got family in Sweden too, but you know. Anyway, first of all, you went to high school where? You were in Canada?
I'm a Canadian, bro. My bloodline been in Canada since before Canada was even invented, bro. Like
1850s and whatnot. Yeah.
Oh, further, bro.
That's when most of them.
1755.
Oh, even longer.
Before even the revolution.
Oh, longer. Okay,
the redcoats killed my people.
Migrated.
Bro, the redcoats killed my Acadian people, and those Acadians joined in the American Revolution just to get their get back.
Yeah, so that was the French.
Okay. Anyway, the point I was trying to ask was
the Acadians.
Yeah. It's a country that literally don't exist, not anymore, anyway.
Yep.
Like Newfoundland and everything like that.
Hey, real quick, I want to get Go P.
Okay, go ahead.
Man. He hasn't said anything yet, man. Go P, what's happening?
Okay.
What's good with you?
Oh shit! I don't even know what's up.
Hey, Go P.
What's happening?
GP.
What's good? GP, are you with me?
Yeah, you're coming in with that smooth, buttery voice, huh? You're gonna put us all to sleep with that ASMR voice. Go P, you need to start an ASMR channel, man.
Anyway.
He said anyway.
Come on, man. It's all love.
What's good with you, bro? Bro?
How you been, man?
Oh, I'm peace, man. I just came up here, to support the channel, man. Come up here and conversate. That's it.
Yeah, what you got on it, bro?
Okay.
So what do you think? Let me ask you the question, GT. What do you think about small businesses kind of being a good, but big businesses who monopolize being an evil? What's your thoughts on that?
Well, big business speaks to like pharma. Let's say that would be something that's heavily involved in
perfect example of evil.
Big pharma, right? Whereas something like Complex's business, that when we think of what Complex does, it's not. We don't think, he engaging in some line of corruption. It's just not a conversation. But when we talk about big pharma and all the monies, like you go to pay your co-pays, well, you can get this med or get the generic med, and we know what kind of monies are involved and who's getting paid. That's what we are most speaking about. So I that's my point on that.
No, that's
I
a
could
good
totally
point.
see it's a perfect point, bro. With how pharma treated us throughout the pandemic.
But you gotta look, dude, you gotta look to government as the culprit, because there was a lot of mandates, right? And those things violated constitutional rights.
Oh yeah, I was at the trucker
You get what I'm saying?
thing.
Oh,
in
so
Canada.
the
I was there,
blockade,
bro.
no
That's my city,
shit.
bro. That's literally my city. I was there.
That was over. So, well, I'm not trying to blow your spot up, dude. So that was okay. I was gonna say like West Coast, Western
No,
side.
it's Ottawa. I don't give a shit.
Ottawa.
People
Okay.
know who I
Okay.
am if they're initiated. I'll just say
Okay.
that.
All right. Well, I
Ottawa?
remember
Okay, cool.
I remember the blockades for that very reason, because they said all the truckers had to do it,
Right.
and then they started like blocking their bank accounts, crazy shit.
Yo, dude, people got hit in the heads with guns. There was a Mohawk chieftain who got ran over by a horse. The Mohawk tribe in Canada almost declared war, bro. It was that bad. And here's another thing. Canadians were depressed for a long, long time. And it was really Canadians and Westerners versus communism. It was very seen as that.
You know
and
what?
There was a lot of
Oh, shit.
foreigners who survived communism at that blockade, at the trucker thing. There was so many. There was Chinese survivors and survivors of different, like from the Khmer Rouge, you name it. And a lot of people came out
you
and
mean like all
recognized.
those? You mean Cambodians? You mean Khmer Rouge?
Anybody who was from immigrants that understood tyranny, they were all there. From the Irish with the English and everything. Here, the main topic of it was just so like Canadians were sick of Trudeau's long depression. Like we had nothing to be happy about as a country. We all got so happy because the whole world was flying Canadian flags and be like, yay, somebody stood up to the fucking whole world that was mandating on all of us. So it was a big moment of happiness for us because Canada was known as, hey, we were those guys who rebelled, and then the mandates worldwide stopped everywhere.
Let me ask you a question about what's going on in Canada right now. I'm talking about specifically Calgary and Saskatchewan and that whole secession conversation. I saw some videos with what if you can speak on it. I'm just curious, dude, because you're there.
I can speak to it. Like I'm in Ottawa, right, the capital.
Okay.
So I understand the politics of my country pretty well. So the Laurentian Valley is everywhere from Quebec City to Toronto, right? In Niagara Falls.
Okay.
That's the main population center and economic drive of all Canada. The other economic center, so it's like two different areas in Canada that are big economic sectors, Alberta, Saskatchewan. So they feel in the elections, they're not very represented. They don't have enough seats. They feel the East has way too many seats. But
doesn't that region have all the money, like the gas and the fucking oil?
Not all the money though. They have up to, it's like 40-60. So Ontario, Quebec is the main engine, but Alberta, Saskatchewan is like right behind it, right? It's almost even. And like they'll claim they do more, but it's just propaganda. But here's the thing. They want to secede. Americans, some of them who are eyeballing the oil fields, they're funding the secessionist argument because they want Alberta to be a part of America because of all the fucking oil fields. And here's another thing. Canada is a secret superpower in the future. Secret because the shield, the Antarctic shield, has all the minerals for cobalt. Basically, the entire tech sector and car sector is going to be buying Canadian within 20 years.
Do you know? Just to that point, dude. They used to run these commercials a couple years ago on television, right? I shit you not. It was a commercial that used to run when my dad, he passed away a few months ago, back in September. But when he was here, he used to watch CNN a lot, right? And they would run these commercials for like this Canadian sort of EV fund type of situation where they were talking about. Do you recall that?
So electric car companies. So you are a electric bike manufacturer, right?
Yeah.
Producer.
Yeah.
You would be getting paid by the government. Not a joke, because there's a push to be more EV. Yeah, you'd be getting tax cuts, everything. Because Canada, here's the major powers of Canada, right? Environmentalism. So we have so many trees and timber. We own the timber market in the West. Not just West Canada, but the
all
whole
that
Western
shit comes
culture.
down here for all the houses that get built. You know that, right?
All the aluminum, the potash. So let me go through all the list of resources we have. Aluminum, potash, timber, third biggest oil reserve in the fucking world. We have the vast majority of fresh water of the entire world.
Yep.
Maple syrup.
Exactly. We have fucking maple syrup. It's fucking liquid gold. We have the highest quantity of gold in the mountains. We have the highest quantity of cobalt. You think Africa has the resources? Fuck no. Canada is the secret giant of the future. So this is why America is positioning itself to try to like annex.
They're trying to muscle it.
That's why I was seeing that
commercial. Bro, it's business. It's business, right?
That's why I was seeing that commercial.
Canada
dude.
is securing its alliances with EU, and even China is trying to be like, hey, Canada,
wait. Carney just
yeah, Carney did some fuck
what did he
shit.
just do?
No, not a lot of people are happy with that. He
okay. Wait. Explain what happened.
He met with Beijing.
Happened.
He met with Beijing. And Beijing basically tried to muscle them and be like, hey, you should lean more on us instead of America, right? So, and Donald is causing so many fucking problems. I think he's fucking stupid at this point. He's literally harassing the polar bear, and he doesn't have a gun to deal with it. And like some people are like, oh, America could take over Canada. Like, dude, if America takes Greenland or Canada, NATO's over.
Dude, no. Look, the whole plan for that is so here's the thing, right? You get Greenland, and then there's a route that goes from the United States through Alberta, Saskatchewan, up through there, off to over to the coast over there, and then right up to
Arctic.
Greenland.
There's an Arctic Northwest Passage. Basically, Europe can trade its goods through the Canadian Northwest Passage. Literally in the north of Canada, and America is arguing it's international waters when it's not. It's close enough to land that it's all Canadian, and it wants to muscle the Northwest Passage. It's a highway sea lane. It's basically as important as the Suez Canal. It's that important. It's as important as Panama, because it means all the trade from the old world can bypass the new world and get to Asia,
and then you get to Asia. Yep.
Exactly. So America, this is what I think should happen. Trump should shut the fuck up and calm down. Carney should shut the fuck up and calm down. The old alliance that was born from World War I should calm down and understand that we are a united superpower in the West, right? And the hounds are at the door. We need to like shore up this shit. Fuck the politics, left, right. That's all bullshit. Like,
man, look, dude, I'm gonna tell you at the end of the day, I don't disagree with that, because so
dude, if the West falls, bro, there's no freedom in the world anymore.
Well, there's
just tyrannical empires.
Well, there's not necessarily gonna be a fall per se, right? There's too much. So that's really what we're talking about here is does a situation occur where the BRIC system becomes a legitimate competitor to the SWIFT system, right?
That's another thing,
and so they've been trying to onboard that, and the Venezuela move kind of put a kibosh on that for a second.
It did put a kibosh on that. And here's the thing: I think the West's biggest problem actually is the central bank. The policies are so fucked. Like, they are literally opening the door to mass migration just because of their genocidal hatred for white people. It's on record, bro. It's their plan. It's not a theory anymore. It's mad.
Well, I'll tell you like this, man. If you were to, kind of just take the historical narrative, right? There's always been these waves of mass immigration to spur economic growth, right? You could talk about the turn of the 20th century, post-Reconstruction, right? All the immigrants who came in through Ellis Island, right? The Irish, Italian, Jewish, you name it, right?
Right.
You had that. Then we had
But here's the difference. Did
mhm.
America have a negative birth rate back then? It did not.
Well, no. We gotta. Oh shit! Hold on one second. My phone just fell. It wasn't necessarily America that had a negative birth rate. See, what it started with was with the black community here in the United States. So around that same time, that's when there was a eugenics program called Planned Parenthood. So as you had immigration coming in, orphan kids on trains.
The orphan kids
trains, all
on
that.
trains is a
As you had all, as you had all that shit coming in, you had a program for eugenics on the black population here to start reducing that, to supplant that.
I am aware of Martha's sins, bro.
I'm just saying, like from a historical standpoint, when we're talking about immigration, that's how that took place. And then you fast forward to today, it's no different than once they started letting these waves of immigrants come in. Where do they dump them in? They put them in the black communities to dispose them. Here they call it not just
the black communities, but also the poor white communities. Like I've seen,
I'm saying,
I've seen neighborhoods
all of
where I've lived, bro, that used to be working white class. Now it's just Somalians or Indians.
No. To that point, that's exactly what the fuck they did, right? But I'm saying it started back at that time period, and that's all they've ever done during the various waves of that. And we just saw that recently, and that's why to your point, that's why you see what you got going on in Minnesota.
Oh yeah, Minnesota is absolutely fuckered with everything that's going on over there. And one thing, so like some cultures can work together if they have an honor code, right? That's the way I look at it. It's the behavior, right? If a culture honors scamming as a good thing, it moves into a culture that sees scamming as a bad thing, right? Because in India, they consider the smartest to be the best scammer. That's not a joke.
Jesus Christ, dude. No,
they actually have a notion of thinking that the best, smartest person is like, if you're a great scammer, you're super smart. That's what they believe.
Like it's some kind of it's because it's a way of hustling in people.
It's a hustling thing.
You're real slick. Yeah, it's a hustling thing. But that depends on what class you are. Remember, because you got lower class, upper class, middle class, and some of the people involved.
Yeah, there's local Indians that have been Canadian for so long. They're the ones who talk shit most of the new ones. They literally call the new ones the villagers. Like from
dude, I'm going to tell you that
came
happens.
From different castes, everything.
But they do states. Look, dude, being born and raised in California, dude, like that New could even tell you, like that happens with the various groups of people that have come here, and let's just say they've been here for 2-3 generations, whether it'd be like, and I'm talking about all Asian, whether it's Chinese, Japanese, Korean, Filipino, or Latino, Hispanic. Like if they've been here a few generations, dude, they function way different than say like the people that are like first generation, and they have a whole viewpoint of them.
There's one thing I can say is that Japanese and Western European culture, because of the hospitality code, they can get along. They do get along very well. But if you throw in a culture in there that is very like high scammer, dishonorable, treacherous, and not because they just happen to be that way, it's cultural programming, right? So like if you grow up in a place where scamming is the way to live, and you go to somewhere
that's a cultural,
right?
Doesn't mean it's survival.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's all about deprogramming at that point. Like there's some people who move to the West, they want to be Western. Like
there's a when you talk about that, that's kind of like a fine line, right?
There's a fine line.
Yeah, that's a fine line because they don't want to lose their cultural identity while at the same time, you get what I mean? It's like I've kind of learned that in the inverse, like because again, dude, I deal with the Chinese like largely with a lot of the shit I do, right? And to be truth be told, they don't expect a black dude to be dealing with them. They don't.
That's true. A lot of them.
You get what I'm saying? It's like it's an inverse, right? It's weird, dude. Like I wire them some money and shit, or like I do business, and they're like, wow, okay.
What I've encountered from, like, I grew up around blacks, and I've met some of you guys in the manosphere and stuff. What I found is some of you are either extremely, I'm not gonna say raggedy, but like not learned, and they'll stick to the communita programming of how they should see the world, right? But then I've met sophisticated individuals who are learned, book smart, and they actually try to get their shit together, right?
But you can
see that in every culture, though.
Well, I was going to say, isn't that prevalent? Yeah.
I'm just saying, I've seen in the manosphere a higher volume of the sophisticated kind of black, if that makes any compliment or sense.
I mean, it kind of does, because it's not. I'm not taking that as some sort of insult or anything, because it's an observation, right? But here's the thing, right? When I came up here on the conversation earlier, I don't know if Free Zone is still there. So this was kind of the nature of to what was being spoken about. To be honest with you, like it comes full circle, right? Like, okay, like the nature of because I look at it like it's sort of like a vis-a-vis. Okay, what you consume, and I'm saying consume, dude. So that doesn't mean just eat. Okay, you can consume something, and it doesn't necessarily mean that you. Yes, dude. So you got to really think about our consumption habits. Right. And to me, that's more of an individual impetus. You see, so that's why I'm saying your observation isn't like, I'm not taking it any kind like as an insult or nothing like that. Right. Because here's the thing. Well, I'm just going to say contextually, there's truth to the observation. Right. But
let's apply the observation to a different group of people, specifically my own white people in the Middle Age. Okay, in the Middle Ages, the yokels, who were unsophisticated, the peasant class, the serfs, right? They didn't give a shit about rebuilding the idea of Rome, because the Middle Age was fascinated with the old ancient world of Rome because of how the aqueducts, the engineering, the stuff like they lost a lot in the Dark Ages, right? The Dark Ages was basically like the worst for Europe at that point, and a lot of people became savage in ways that most people wouldn't, right? So the Normans, who were Vikings, right, they became Catholic in France, and when they became more Christianized, the Normans, who were Viking warriors, became some of the best warriors of Christian Europe, right, and fought back a lot of the Islamic armies and stuff, and like there was some sort of semblance of unity. So all the strong men decided to read. Like Europe changed when Charlemagne decided to learn how to read. Most kings didn't read at that point. Like, and everything changed at that point. It's like ideas became more, and like rebuilding Francia, which is like France and Germany, right? And northern Italy at the time. This was the end of the Dark Age, right? Bringing back order, and the Pope was like, "Yes, I crown you king of Christendom, so you can protect the land." All that jazz. And it was very political, religious, and it was a group of men who were sick and tired of the bad situation. So this is why I bring the observation to this. So some of the sophisticated black men who were sick and tired of the situation gathered together. Some of them are of the quote unquote warrior class gangsters who are book read and became sophisticated. Just like how Vikings of old were literally the yokels slaughtering people just for gold, just basically being thugs, enslaving people, to then having contact with new ideas, the ideas of Rome, the ideas of civilization, the ideas of trade and business. It's like, oh, okay, if I do this, I don't need to be a thug anymore. So this happens to every culture.
Question, do you think that like that's sort of like the experience of like the average like quote unquote black person?
No. I'm not going to generalize that hard. Not everybody was a Viking going around causing problems, right?
Well, what I'm saying is that. But what I'm saying is that. Well, thanks, babe. Well, I'm gonna set it right here. Sorry, that's my daughter. She's bringing me one. Damn, this looks good. Shit. She made some.
What'd she
She
make you?
made those. No, she made the chocolate chip cookies. They're done.
Oh, beautiful.
Ooh, okay.
Nice,
I'm gonna need
Yeah,
the
nice.
they're
recipe
done,
afterwards.
dude.
After this, I'm gonna need the recipe.
But like
Yeah,
my
they're
point,
done.
my
She
point
just brought
is
me one, dude.
cultures have points of darkness, and then a group of men try to gather together and
Yeah,
make it better. That's what I'm
yeah.
trying to pinpoint on. I'm not trying to
You mean highs and
generalize or put
lows?
down.
No, no, no.
Exactly.
It's not. It's
Like
not
look at
that.
the Irish.
But
The
I'm
Irish
saying.
were in the lows, but then rose up a little more, right?
But what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that if I am the mirror of that today, because again, I think a lot of history. Because there was a comment that I made early on in the chat when I was just listening in, when it was just Free Zone and New, and you know, I said. I said, history isn't factual. Facts are, right? So if I'm just go on the basic premise that history repeats itself, right? However, if we were to look at technological advancement as just that advancement, then that means
moving
that
through tech trees and ideas, that
right.
there's always a rhyme.
Well, no, I was going to say. So what happens is that what we're talking about here is a loop in time where nothing that's experienced is anything that hasn't been experienced previously or documented in history or anything like that. Just kind of like what you're speaking to, right? But when I look
Nothing
at it
new
today,
under the sun, right?
well, okay, but when I look at it today, I don't really see us as black men as kind of like how you describe it, even though I understand where you're coming from. So let me just get this out, right? Because again, if today mirrors no different than the fall of the West in the past, right? Right, like the like how they say, okay, the fall of America mirrors the fall of Rome, and then that mirrors the fall of Egypt, and blah 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 blah. Let's just go on that assumption for just a second. So that means that every fucking thing that you literally see here right now, with me and all my goddamn e-bikes and e-scooters and batteries and fucking all this electronic. Okay, so that means that there were motherfuckers that were just like me. In that time period with all types of devices and shit, gyroscopes and fucking what's it called, antikyria devices and shit. Yeah, the navigation devices and right, all you know what I'm saying, like
Compasses.
Yeah,
compasses,
like
steam
Rome
compressors,
was able
and
to make aqueducts and make the water go uphill. Bro.
right. So we're talking. Well, you know, all you did. Okay, you know, all Roman soldiers were also engineers.
That's true.
Construction workers, yeah. And they had to walk because
no, all of them. No. So check this out. Depending on the regiment, right? So each one of them carried a different types of tools because they were a certain type of engineer, right? You see, so a certain regiment was responsible for building this. This one built this, and then based on the size of the regiment, they'd have this many dudes with this many tools that did this, right? And then this many that did this, right? It's no different than how you see today what they call like the Army Corps engineers. Right. It mirrors today. That's why I'm kind of like, well, I don't the history thing to me at this stage of the game, because there's so much falsities, because there's so much shit that's been actually put into it that does not tell the real story, right? Because of all of that type of shit, the only thing that I go off of at this stage of the game is that whatever it is that I'm experiencing, what I see today, if I reference it back in quote unquote history, it's literally a mirror of today. So I shouldn't really think too much outside of what it is that I'm experiencing today, because it's the same shit.
Right. Well, you can even, if you can even foresee certain events if you understand the rhyme. Like we're looking at the housing collapse, right? Like let's look at the rhyme of the housing collapse and a generation that's having a hard time creating families. Other positions in history where a generation basically was out of jobs, out of being able to make families, out of being able to own a house, and you have a growing influx of people moving in. Those are war conditions, bro. I'm just saying, like the next step is basically a lot of Westerners being fed up with the powers that be, because the powers that be are basically boomers and older Gen X who are trying to hold on to power for dear life, but you have millennials entering their 40s with barely any influence or power right now, and some young Gen X who barely have influence or power. It's very Saturnian, and by Saturnian as a term, it's an older generation leeching off the younger generation to hold on to power, right? So you're gonna have a Zeus archetype in the in the younger generations. You know, Gaia is taking care of them in the cave. Like, it's so the divine feminine will take care of the divine masculine, while the karmic motherfuckers are just running shit. But then Zeus comes out, right, raised up by the divine feminine. So it's not necessarily feminism that raised the guy. It's yes, he believes in equality and fuck tyranny, fuck slavery, because he's lived it, right? It's like millennials and Gen X, and especially Gen Z now and Gen Alpha coming out. They're Apollonian, right? They're very Zeus archetype, and I'm using Greek mythology because a lot of people know Greek mythology and its archetypes. That's why I'm using that as an archetype. The Saturnian, or Kronos, is constantly taxing, devouring, and saying, "Oh, fuck you! I don't care about the culture. I want bigger GDP." Like they don't care about the local culture. They'd rather let people move in.
Wait. Which age group is that? Because I would prefer you just go ahead and just use today, right? Because it'll help me. Because I see where you're going.
Mostly boomers are the Saturnian type mentality, because they want to like a lot of Gen Xers know this for a fact. Like, Gen Xers are kind of like the Zeus archetype almost, and the millennials are Apollonian, right? So like it's consecutive generations that have to deal with one generation constantly controlling everything since World War II, basically. Like, once the forgotten generation went out of power, like they went to the retirement homes, the boomers have been running all this for a long time, and they have a mentality that is so outdated. They still think the world operates on Cold War mentality, and that's the issue with Saturnian thinkers who are older in age. They're disconnected from the youth, you could say, and the youth are becoming very Zeus and Apollonian, wanting to establish their own hierarchy because they're sick and tired of being out of the power, right? It's like a young thug seeing this old dude just trying to control everything. It's like, screw you, I'm taking over. Like, we're coming to that point where Zeus is coming out of the cave, quote unquote.
Hey, speaking of which, I want to swing it to Rael. Rael, what's good, bro?
Is he? Oh shit! I didn't know Rael was up there.
Hey, quick commercial, quick commercial break.
Her shit fat, bro. You don't know what to. That's what
the hell?
I gotta
stole
play
that
this,
shit.
bro.
That's what I do, nigga. Fuck, nigga, I stole that shit, and I stole it, like, bro. But niggas don't understand. I talk facts, Vlad. I talk facts.
Oh, you're right.
Is that academics?
Don't even deny it. That's cool.
I do, nigga. I talk facts. What deny? What, nigga? Give me that, nigga. I don't know what to do with that.
Okay.
You know when a nigga got a girl, her shit fat, bro. You don't know what to do with that. Give me that. Stole that shit. That's what I do,
bro.
Who is that? Is that who's that? I don't know.
Oh, that's funny.
That was 6ix9ine and DJ
Vlad.
Tekashi.
Okay.
They did like a Donald. Yeah, they did like a Donald Trump.
He sounds like
Venezuela.
the academics guy.
but yeah, no, we're coming up on
man?
that Zeus coming out of the cave point.
Yeah, man. Rael, you got it.
Rael, you there?
Talk facts.
Yo.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, there you go, bro. What's cracking, dog?
Peace. Well, I think that things need to truly be identified the way that they really are, and okay, so we know we really know what it is. Okay. What we got to do is look at the Reconstruction period as it relates to America and see where did things really kind of go off the rails in the post-Civil War environment. Things went off the rail when Southerners aligned themselves with the suffragettes movement to counter the new power that Black American men had in the United States in terms of voting. Ultimately, that's what sold America in terms of a male-dominated entity into a female-concentric one. And the real question is, and this is what I've been saying for years, what are white men willing to give up to bring more balance to the state of things? Because at the end of the day, even when we see what's going on in this Minneapolis situation with this Renee chick, they're trying to get not just Black people, which have been swayed with a lot of this Marxist identity crap, but they're also trying to get white guys to come out here and stand up, as many of them are.
Hey, Rob,
And
something going on with your mic, man. It's like a robotic sound.
Yeah, I can hear it, but it's making a noise, bro.
Yeah, I don't know.
Can y'all hear me now?
It's an in and out robotic type sound. It's
but wait, I think he's good now.
What about now?
Go ahead and talk, and I'll let you know.
Can you hear me clearly now?
We
Yeah,
can
I
hear
can hear
you.
you.
Go ahead.
But go ahead.
So, because if we keep having this type of conversation, it's going to go to the next year and the next year and the next year. Okay. The truth of the matter is that
hey, bro, it's happening. It's happening, man.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on with your mic, brother, but
your mic is just burping. It's doing the burping.
That's what it's doing. That's what we're calling.
But you know, hey, but you know,
clear,
yeah, you know, GP, I can hear him, dude. Go ahead, let's just let him rock. I want him to get his thought out.
But Complex, you ain't the only one up here, sir. We all trying to understand what he's saying. We're telling him his mic is burping.
No, I'm saying
I switched my Bluetooth. Can y'all hear me now?
We can hear you, but your mic has been burping.
You're good. You're good.
Okay.
So we'll keep having these same conversations over and over and over again, when what really needs to be talked about is, where's this coming from? Because the truth of the matter is that Black men because even when it comes to white males in the United States, all white males didn't have the right to vote at the same time as the elites. Voting used to be something that was tied to land owning gentry in the United States for the most part. So over time, white men in different places were able to get this particular right, which obviously was a symbol of political power. After the Civil War, Black
Tradeoff
men
was being drafted to war, though.
Hold on. White men, when they lost the war in terms of the South, okay, and the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments came on. That's political, okay. That came through the legislative body. Now we can sit here and say, well, you know, the North instituted this stuff because, you know, they were trying to, you know, thumb their noses at the South and all that. Yeah, that might be true, but at the end of the day, it passed. And there's a whole bunch of stuff that got passed in Congress that Black men didn't like, and we had to deal with it. As soon as they lost a certain position, now mind you, this is the same people who fought to secede and break the country apart. Okay, they got off pretty easy as far as I'm concerned, only to be the source of a lot of the issues that we're still dealing with now. Primarily aligning themselves with feminists to get power. Now, to me, that's a cheap way to get power. It worked, but at what cost? Because now the very people who align themselves with this body of people are constantly trying to fight Trump, who is trying to unravel that very power that came into fruition. Okay, so the question is that from a political standpoint, what power are white men across the board are they willing to give up to get something that's better than what you have now with the alignment of many white men? Because it's not just white men on the left, it's white men on the right that's aligned with this notion, because they know white women are a big part of the voting population. And when they instituted the 19th Amendment, that wasn't because they wanted to be fair and balanced with white women and stuff like that. That was particularly to undermine black men's political power and influence in the United States. Hold on. I'm sitting on a lot of material right now that says
Well,
otherwise.
you're asking me as a white man to give up some sort of power, which has been denied to me from generations who are still far older than me, who are still sitting on political power.
Hold on. In America, who has been denied more in the United States? White men as a whole or black men?
This is the argument of the child who got the smaller cookie.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
The smaller cookie.
Okay, so are you saying that white men in the United States have a history?
I'm saying most white people are concerned about the issues going on right now.
I haven't even finished the question. Because see, this is how you know when people are full of crap. This is how you know when people are full of crap. When you identify where it really comes from. When you identify, how am I racist? I didn't say anything about you, about your race. I'm talking about the history.
He didn't say anything about race.
I ain't say anything about your race. And I'm not going to be party to any white dudes crying when they have had power like a motherfucker. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to call it for what it is. Okay. Now, I will be one of the very people that say one of the biggest mistakes black men made, like Frederick Douglass, was show solidarity towards white females in supporting them getting the right to vote. There are other people who didn't support that. And when black men got the right to vote, those same suffragists like Elizabeth Cady Stanton, Susan B. Anthony, they turned against Frederick Douglass. And they ultimately were the ones who pushed for this notion of black men getting power and doing to white people what white people had done to them politically, which is ultimately what led to the birth of a nation. Okay.
Can I ask you this question?
No, I'm not finished.
Just so I understand what you're saying.
No, I sat here and listened to everything you said. I didn't interrupt him one time. I've been sitting here for about 25 minutes.
Yeah, right. So
I've been sitting here for about 25 minutes. I didn't say anything.
And name will let him finish, bro.
I didn't say anything for about 25, 30 minutes.
Still going. Go ahead.
Because this is a tactic that people like to do to interrupt you from your position that you're trying to stay on. Okay? Now, I didn't say anything about things being racial, even though there are aspects of these types of things in history that are racial. I'm speaking more from a gender perspective. And at the end of the day, we never had the political body. First of all, we didn't even have the power, even though we had the right to vote. We couldn't exercise it because of the black codes in the South. We never had the power to be able to empower white females to be where they are now. That was white men. We didn't have that power. So the very people who are talking about, well, the elites and this and that and the fourth, well, where was y'all at when it came time for black men to exercise their right? Where was the support for black men who as a collective was just trying to build our own towns, our own cities that were getting burned down and trying to be left alone? There was no support there. So now that they have lost their power to a certain degree, now it's like, well, it's the elite. Well, it was the elites before. What's changed? The only thing that's changed is that the middle class people are not being able to get what they have normally gotten for the past 180 years. That's the only difference. So is it really y'all trying to change things from a moral perspective, or are you just trying to get back your position that you're used to having? We have fought for things when it's not been just for us. We have fought for things to be balanced across the board. And what we're trying to see, just like we're trying to see from foreign people, are you really trying to fight for fair and balanced treatment across the board, or are you just trying to fight for your own position? Because that's not the same thing.
And I'm going to say this before I drop off. If that's the case, then what you need to do is take that shit up with the people who resemble and are related to your ethnicity. If we want to go race for just a second, who push for policies to allow for people to come in to dispose you. Straight up, dog. Hey, Ryle, hit me up, dog. I'm out of here.
All right, I'm out too.
All right, New.
Enjoy the cookies, bro. Bye-bye.
Peace. Hey, give me some Oreos.
Hey, peace, y'all.
I'd love to
All
say
right,
one
let's go.
thing just to understand what he was saying, because I am trying to understand. I wasn't trying to interrupt or be tactic about it. It's just he surmised the question of what is white men willing to give up, and then he leaned on the notion. He didn't say it outright, but he leaned on the notion about how white women being allowed to vote was an attack against black men's right to vote. I don't see it that way. He may surmise it that way if he wants to, but he's pushing a notion. He didn't say it out loud, but from what I understand, he believes that the fact that women were allowed to vote attacked black men's right to vote because, like, power and voting blocks. I see that. But was that the point? No, that was not the stated point in the past. I don't believe so. And the idea of asking, what are white men willing to give up? It's like, are you trying to ask white men to tell white women to stop voting or something? To remove and repeal the 19th? That's not going to happen. As much as incels want to keep pushing this idea against women, to be honest, if a bunch of women voting bothers you that much, I think there's a problem.
Well, let me ask you, where are you from again? Where are you from again?
I'm Canadian.
Okay, so
Canada had women's rights and the whole evolution almost at the same time as America.
Hold on,
just letting you know.
Hold on, brother. Okay. When we talk about the United States politics, that's where we're at with it. It's not a knock against, it's not a knock against Canada. We just deal with what the United States has had to deal with. And that conversation is a conversation. That's all we're saying.
Okay, well, my brother.
Yes, sir.
In Canada, a lot of the freedmen and women who made it out of slavery before slavery got banned. So 1833, slavery was banned in the British Empire, which included Canada at the time. A lot of freedmen, the stories of going north and making it to Canada, a lot of them, I grew up with their descendants. Okay. The arguments, I've heard them all. Like, it's almost the exact same culture. Like, we're less than 100 kilometers away from the border.
Once again, sir, when we have these conversations, we're speaking specifically about the United States. Now, can we say, people went to Canada? Can we say yes? Can we say that this happened in 1893? Yes. But in this modern state, we tend to address what is going on in the United States. We can't be as concerned with other countries or whatever. We deal with what we and if it's our experience.
Well,
hold on. If it's our experience, not only personally, but with our families and with our communities and things that happen, and it's in our documentation in our Library of Congress, then that's what we're dealing with. When
It's in
others
our libraries too, my friend.
Well, okay, I don't I don't challenge that. Listening is imperative. Listening.
I'm gonna ask you to understand what I was trying to impart.
No,
It's the
no,
osmosis of cultural and political influence.
sir. No, sir. That's like
If you
me
can't
trying to
understand that,
understand. That's like me trying to understand what's going on in Canada. I'm not in Canada. I'm not from Canada, so I can't engage what Canada's politics are. We can only engage what the United States politics are.
well, let
That's all.
me explain something to you.
Go ahead. Yes, sir.
What the United States politics is basically dictates the politics of most Western countries due to influence. So you may not see it that way because you are not the next door neighbor, basically. The cultural ties as an alliance and a people were literally over half of all the freed men and women who did escape before slavery was banned grew up in Montreal, grew up in Ontario, right where I'm living. So these arguments of the community are not so far fetched. Perhaps you do not understand that, and I can grant that to you. You don't know about Canada, but it's not that far removed. I wanted to argue that point about the
But
osmosis
once
of
again,
influence.
listening is imperative, sir. I just expressed to you that when we are talking about the United States, we're talking about the United States politics. We're not talking about the extensions of. We're not talking about what's happening in Canada or any other country. We're talking about what the happenstance is in so-called America. Now, whatever's happening and how close we are to Canada, whatever, okay. But that's not what I'm challenging you on. Not that I'm even challenging you on. I'm just putting correction to what we're talking about here. We're talking about what is in the United States. That's all.
I understand.
Wait a minute, Ragnarok. So I understand it, being an American and understanding the history. My problem with what Rael said, and I wanted to address it before he left, but the entire solution hinges on me as a black person waiting on another group to get their shit together for me to get power. I reject that premise. I reject that premise entirely. No more than I would accept that the only way that men's rights and their solutions would it's like we as men have to wait on women to want to give up their power. Like none of that shit is ever going to happen. Ever. It sounds smart, but realistically, nobody's going to give up power.
I agree with
that. So my I guess, damn, I'll have to ask them later. But my question is, what are black people supposed to do while they're waiting for the white folks to give up power?
Well,
that was what I was going to say.
What I would say to that question is, first of all, you should no Negro American be waiting on nothing. Okay, that's all.
So you reject the premise,
right? It seemed like it was because I didn't. That's why I was trying to stop you, Ragnarok, because I was trying to get the other half of that. Because what I'm saying, he went into one part and then did the history and all that stuff, but I wanted to get into the other side of it before y'all kind of did your thing. But I'll catch Rayo and ask him about it later. So it ain't no big thing.
Well, let me make sure I make this clear. Should no Negro American be waiting on nothing? All right, you should be aggressively taking care of yourself. I give the analogy: you should be drinking your water and eating your veggies. That means taking care of yourself, taking care of your family. If you have extended family, you should be out there making moves like everybody else, because you're charged to do that. Either you're going to do something or you're not. There's no middle about that.
There's nothing wrong with that. That is self-sufficiency and is required of basically every culture.
So that's I hope that answers the question, Free Zone. I mean, I know you're going to ask Rael that question, but
that's a sufficient answer.
Should nobody be waiting on nothing? Now, as far as waiting on Whiskey Mike to do, well, I mean, when things are
Whiskey
baked
Mike.
in, Whiskey Mike and Wilma.
I heard you say that the other day, and I started chuckling for the chat. Like, who the fuck is Whiskey?
Hey, you owe me a
Oh,
thank you for that Wilma reference.
Whiskey Mike and Wilma, you know.
yeah.
The reference on what?
You know.
The reference on Wilma saying I did
And
this
when
last time.
and when he said what he said, I didn't even interpret waiting as like doing nothing.
Yeah.
I just wanted to know like what while they're getting their shit together, what are black people supposed to be doing? Like, are they supposed to, like, practically speaking?
We have to say that things, they're going to do them regardless because it's baked in. One, it's baked in. I mean, if you think about it, if they weren't about cheating and they had 500 years start to continue to keep themselves in a certain position, then it's baked in to cheat and stay ahead. But that's what they do. And that's what they intend to do as far as being in position. Now, they've set themselves up to where they have to continue to cheat to have this perception that they're winning. Okay, but hey, we can't get into what they're doing because we know what they're doing. This is nothing new, but we have to, continue pushing, man. What's baked in is baked in, and we do the workarounds. That's it.
Yeah,
fair enough.
I'm of the belief that like because we talk about knowledge of self, right?
Yes.
I think that supersedes a lot of the shit going on because practically speaking, I don't like those things are their issues, but I don't think that they're so big an issue that men or Americans can't freely move around. You know what I'm saying, or freely improve their lives on their own agency and volition.
I agree.
And I think that
Can I bring something up for you?
I think, wait a minute. I think that supersedes a lot of these issues, and they are issues, but they get magnified to a place where people just feel like they can't, like, what's the point? Hopelessness. When in actuality, you control your 24 hours, you control what you do, and you can walk and chew gum at the same time. But if you can't even handle like your own daily issues, how the fuck are you gonna take down big areas of power when you can't even discipline yourself to make your fucking bed, wake up early in the morning, save your own fucking money? Like, if you can't do these things, how the fuck are you gonna
So what would
try
be
to
the
take over?
trade-off? What would be the trade-off of doing nothing?
Get your life together first and foremost.
What would be the trade-off? If you did nothing, what would be the trade-off?
Everything would still everything would still move as it does if you do nothing.
What would be, I'm asking you because we're talking about trade-offs versus compromise. What would be the trade-off doing nothing?
Losing what you have.
Your life gets worse as time moves on. That's the trade-off.
So you're compromised. There's
Correct.
no trade-off.
If you do nothing,
right?
Yeah.
So, Faison, I wanted to bring up something you're pertinent on that you're absolutely correct about. It's all about knowing thyself, down to the factors of even ideology and how you think. Here's a grave fallacy I keep finding among certain people. They keep talking about history as if they were there. And so here's the thing. Here's the gap in the conversation, right? Most young white men are thinking about taxes, job. How am I going to afford a house? How am I going to afford a family? On the sideline, you have this other guy talking about the Civil War, black codes, and all these things he never lived, but then wants to surmise solving those solutions on another group of people more worried about just having a house. So it's unattainable. It's not a negotiable conversation because the ideas are not even in the right position. So remember, before Rael spoke, I talked about how the current present day, the generations of like boomers are somewhat Saturnian towards the more Zeus-like archetype of younger generations that feel like they've been left out. But then he brought in the idea of, okay, well, my whole community's been left out for years, and I'm not downplaying that. So I can understand that to an aspect of studying and observation. See, like as an Acadian, also, like Acadia has been left out since 1755. I'm not even going to argue on that point. I'm not going to complain to redcoats to get what's mine, right? I'm not going to go to Britain and be like, hey, pay me. Like that. No, I have to solve my own problems. Like I've been rebuilding myself. I used to be a drunk, a stoner. I had to know myself. I had to fix my psychology, my spirituality. I had to fix myself, reprogram myself. And I keep finding people. I'm not trying to say I'm above them. I'm saying like you got too many people caught on the narratives. So that young man, Riel, is he thinking about how he can have a house now, how he can have a business now, how he can grow a family now? No, he's talking about removing the rights of women so black men can have
Wait,
power because of a problem in the
No,
past.
hold on.
I don't think I can
Hold
do that,
on.
bro. Because
Hold on.
from what I understand, Rail's actually doing pretty well with his life. Like he's not.
Okay, so he's doing well.
Wait,
right?
hold on. Hold on. Okay, let me ask you.
But you got he's not
Are
saying
you personalizing this, or are we speaking about the general?
No. I'm talking about the gap in
That's not the
ideology
question.
when it comes to.
Question
There's
is,
probably the wrong words to
Are you
explain it.
personalizing this, or are you speaking to the general?
I'm speaking to the general.
Okay, so when you speak to the general, you can't bring yourself into your personal self into it, and you can't. And
I
you
use
can't,
that as an
you
example.
can't incur another person who especially ain't here.
This is semantics.
No, it's not semantics.
Yes, it is.
I'm saying you know Raul is not
You
here.
overskip the
to
entire
address,
point of what I'm trying to say. Somebody's arguing about problems from the Civil War era
Okay,
and
but
talking about
Rahil's
removing
not
women's
here.
rights so he can have
Rahil's
power. That's
not
weird.
here to defend what you're saying.
I'm not asking you to.
But I'm not. That's why I asked you if are you personalizing this, or is it in the general? Because you brought up your personal
No.
experiences.
Here's what I believe. I believe, okay,
Go ahead.
everybody should know thyself. That
Yes.
is just a standard. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So if he's too busy with his head talking about the politics of Civil War, is he knowing himself? No.
Okay. But
Like
is
I've
he
been
here
told
to defend
myself,
your
I
position?
have my head in the clouds too much when I talk about history. I need to focus on the present. My issue
he
is you
here
have
to
too many
defend
people who
your
use
position?
history for a political sledgehammer to take something from another group of people.
Is he here to defend your position or his position?
It's not even about defending position.
But
It's
it
I'm
is, because if
making
you
an
keep
You're not understanding, sir. I'm
no,
making
sir.
an
'Cause if you
observation
keep
of
bringing
how
him
people
into
think
it,
differently.
and you're saying, well, you know, we shouldn't lay the hammer just on the people who does, and you're talking
All right.
about history, and
I'll
you
surmise
talking
what I'm
about.
trying to say in one
Go ahead.
sentence. Literally
Yes.
just one sentence.
Yes, sir.
So Riel was arguing about white people. What would they give up to have balance, right? I would tell you, white people are not even thinking about you.
Okay.
It's not an insult. It's not a diminishment. It's that most white people and other groups of people are literally just trying to get by right now.
Okay.
So it makes no sense to even surmise his argument for it. It's not a
but
defense or an
one,
offense.
he's not here to defend himself. Two, he's talking about a baked-in system. Now, it may be people. Whiskey Mike may be out there struggling. Wilma may be out there struggling, but they had a significant amount of time to stay ahead in the game. Can we agree?
Who
with
said
that?
they had significant amount of time?
Okay. Okay.
This is the white privilege
I will
argument.
leave it at that, brother. I'll leave it at that, man. I'll leave it at that.
Well, I'm telling you, I was born in the 90s. I'm not going to let somebody who's using arguments from the Civil
All
War
right,
to
brother.
try to make it a political argument to take
All
from
right,
me.
brother. Hey, all right, brother. You got it.
That's all I'm trying to say. Like, I'm not even thinking
You
about
got
what
it.
he's trying to.
You got
That's
it.
sort of a gap in what people want or think
All right. You got it. You got
about.
it.
Most young are worried about their jobs, their taxes, their house, how they're going to feed their family. They're not even talking about women's rights and other things like that, bro. Like, that's an old argument.
All right. All right.
That's all I'm
Hey,
trying to say, man.
you got it. You got it. You know, hey.
I'm not even trying to debate with him. Like, I know he's not here. I'm just saying.
But you
Like
can't.
the point I'm trying to explain.
No.
Most people are not gonna level with that kind of
sir.
thinking.
No, sir. You can't continually talk about somebody who ain't here to defend himself. But yeah, here
I'm
you
talking
are.
about the difference of perception.
Anytime you bring up somebody else's name and they're not here and they were here, you're still trying to go. It's like you trying to go at somebody all hard when they didn't left the building.
That's not how I'm doing it, bro.
Well, I'm just telling you what you're doing.
I'm okay. You want to know what I'm doing? I'm not even fucking thinking about what he's thinking about.
Okay.
That's what I'm trying to say.
When a person goes to using colorful words, they feel some type of way.
Yeah, he said white people are all crap. Those are colorful.
All right.
He didn't say look, Ragnar didn't take kindly to some of the things we said. He wanted to stand up, but it is what it is. Leave it. We're just gonna have us move on. I think we should just move on to something else.
I agree.
We're not going anywhere with this. Ragnar,
it's true.
Let's not. It's cool. All right.
It's all good. Hey, look, it's all good. It's been 3.5 hours, y'all.
Yes, sir.
We could do final thoughts.
Yes, sir.
We'll definitely run this back.
I'll run it
another
first,
time.
Man.
Go ahead, man. Do your thing, man.
Hey,
I appreciate you coming up too, man. Shout out to
I was hoping I could talk with everybody offline if possible. Okay.
Real quick, shout out to Rael, Trey, Complex, Black Manosphere. Appreciate y'all coming up, and Go P Rag. Is it how you say that? Nema.
Yeah.
Hey, appreciate y'all coming up, man. Go ahead, Go P.
And thank you for having me.
Well, hey, I appreciate you guys blessing me with the opportunity to come up and build with y'all, man. Hey, I always appreciate a conversation, man. And
yes, sir.
When I leave here, just know I'm peace with everybody, man. It's
been a pleasure,
man.
Yeah, man. Hey, you doing a boom boom room tonight?
No. I'm going. Hey, look, I'm gonna go in there and have a salad and watch Amazing Race with Girl, man. That's what I'm doing, man.
Hey, there you go.
Hey, I'm with y'all Monday through Sunday, right? Saturdays. Hey, look, if I'm not on, you can catch the replay.
Hey, God, is that a trade-off or is that a compromise?
Hey, that's hey, look, man, that's a trade-off. That's a trade-off, brother. Ain't no compromise.
That's silly. That's silly.
All right, Go Pete. I'll holler at you, bro.
I appreciate y'all, man. Keep winning, brother.
Yes, sir. That's what we do. That's what we do. Rags, man. Final thoughts, bro.
Well, I'm glad I had a chance to come up here and talk about what I've been going through and catching up with you, Free Zone. I'm doing a lot better
man, it's
mentally.
good to hear from you.
I'm doing a lot better than I was like years ago, that's for sure. And I would really like people to investigate how cultures have been Saturnian, because like every time you have an older generation leeching off a younger generation and selling out to outsiders, be it migration or invasion. Basically, the original definition of a tyrant in Greece is somebody who sells out the people and lets another people walk in. It's been that way for a long time. So, and Saturn was described as a tyrant who feeds off his own young, right? So you could see the philosophical archetype of older generations keeping power to themselves as long as possible. Culture be gone. All they want is GDP, right? That's how they think. That's what they want. And I think a lot of people should think about how young Gen X, who are basically they're housing millennials still to this day, because millennials can barely find a house. And you have Gen Z coming out, you have Gen A coming out. It's unsustainable, it's unattainable. And I think people should really think about how dark it can get very quickly if the housing market or culturally things change for a better. But let's just say Zeus is coming out of the cave, and I'm coining that saying, meaning the young generation is going to come out and start taking power either by force or influence from older generations. They're not going to wait. Like you said, waiting for somebody to give up power is not going to happen. So we could talk about it generationally. Like white millennials, they're not even thinking about issues some black millennials and black Gen X are talking about. So that's one of the points I was talking about. There's a big disconnect there. And most white millennials and younger Gen X and whatnot and Gen Z are more concerned about how they basically got sold out. Like they're not even thinking about issues that affect from like 200 years ago. Like sure, they're into history, but like right now, the situation is most young white men can't afford to own a home, can't make a family, and that is a recipe for destruction on so many levels. And that's why you're seeing a lot of young white people becoming more, they want to be at the jour of the day. They're not interested in yesterday, like, because there's too many problems. It's culminating into a climax, and that's why most young individuals are going to be like Zeus coming out of the cave, trying to take power even from Gen X, because Gen X has been struggling up the ladder too. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's all I would ask people to think about. And like, I've been studying how some cults hand down power to a younger generation in the cult. What happens is a cult leader who's really old wants to stay in power, but then it's like the Saturn, right? And then the younger generation becomes like Zeus and Apollo and just team up to destroy them. So like Gen X and millennials, basically they're going to be taking power soon, and there's going to be a power vacuum. Like, people won't even be talking about gender issues. This is about who runs the economy. Gen X got shafted. Millennials got shafted. We all got shafted, black or white. So like, when I was trying to bring up earlier with the gentleman, it's not that I want to debate against the guy. It's that I don't even think about you. I'm busy on a power play, right? It's like asking the guy in a hockey game who's on a power play, going for the goal, to think about what some dude's talking about in the freaking bleachers. It's not going to happen.
You're focused somewhere else. You're not focused on the same things as he is. Because your history is different. I mean, there's a cognitive disconnect, I guess. No, there's a disconnect, I guess, between certain groups. Like, what one group has experienced. No, not a disconnect. Sorry, there's a bit of a disconnect and apathy somewhere along the line, lack of empathy, or just not unaware of what other sides are doing. I mean, this is where I make it a point to interact with other people, but I have to be cautious in who I interact with, because I see, the good, the bad, and the downright ugly in everybody. Well, anyway, my closing thought is, first of all, SHAKA-NEU-LU, thank you for having me. First time listening. We chopped it up before. We've crossed paths many times in other people's chats. Free Zone Lou. Freeze.
Yes, sir. Yeah, man. Appreciate
nice to meet you, brother.
Up, bro.
Yeah,
out, man.
Thank you for having me. Oh, wait, hold on. I gotta put on this hat right now. Cause first of all, I didn't appreciate you coming at me like I was Horry Holcomb or some shit like that. But you know what I'm saying? But I appreciate you showing me the love that needs to be had. Cause brothers, we need some more love about that. I can't go and be to save my life, but hey, I do what I can. But hey, it's said in the Holy Quran, those who bring joy and laughter to the companions deserve a place in the hereafter. So y'all better pray for me, although I'm Christian. So thank you for having me,
bro. Take it easy, man. Peace. No. another one in the another one, man.
Yeah, I was kicking back for a minute, listen to some of this stuff.
Yeah, just letting them rock, man. Letting them rock.
Man, there's a lot of shit in people's heads, man. And shit that I was hearing was just like, what? You gotta be kidding me. But maybe that's for something for me to do. Later on a record or something, or on a stream or something.
What you mean?
I'll tell you later.
No, I think I got you. But hey, so sometimes it's just you sit back, let everybody talk, man. Let them listen. So I wasn't even gonna pretend like I understood half of the conversation. Some of it, man, but I understood it, but I didn't have anything to like contribute. Like I wasn't even gonna pretend like I'm. Just sit back and learn.
Certain parts I didn't understand where they came from. It was like out of the woodwork. So I was like, let me just sit here and listen. But a wise man listens, man.
A wise man listens, and it ended up, building to an interesting place. So shout out to him, man. Shout out to everybody who came. Yeah, man. Shout out to Black Pill Jesus as well. Let's let that rock real quick. You know what I'm saying? And we out, y'all. Peace.